Hi there. Thanks for your enrollment. We are in 1 minute ad break. In this break, I'm going to show you that I have so many courses uploaded over Udemy. And if you're going to enroll my courses, you will get 95% discount every month, 3 times. First week, mid of the month, and the last week of the month. I am sharing the coupons. If you go and use those coupons, then my courses related to CCNP, related to CCI, all those courses, you are going to get heavy discount up to 95%. You can see the prices are a little bit higher here, but if you go and apply the coupon, the prices will go rock bottom. So go use those coupons. Suppose if you don't have those coupons, then you can always ping me over YouTube. You can send me email. You can ask for those coupons. I will provide you that coupon. So get the coupon, get the discount. Some of my courses over Udemy, they are bestseller. Some of the courses are quite new, like SD-WAN automation, DNA automation, CCI data center 3.0. Those are the new uploads as well. So please go continue your learning, take the coupon, enroll my courses, and study well. All the best. Modern networking in the SDN type of networking, those networks are also exposed to the outside world. So we have same threats that we have in the traditional network. It is applicable to the SD-WAN type of network as well. So for example, say cyber warfare, a nation or state-sponsored threats or hacking, organizational crime, ransomware, financially motivated crimes, multiple bugs, malware, DOS attack, botnets, all those things are there. Why? Because at the moment also, what my user is doing, that he is going outside and he want to access the internet. And now because we are in the hybrid type of transport world, so my user, he can go directly to the outside where I have the cloud hosted application or SaaS as an application or infra as an application. So all the places they can go and they can find those threads. Some of the threads we have seen in the last slide that is motivated, but some of the threads are there. Those threads are not that much motivated, but hackers or those world who is doing the hackers, either it's a mature type of hacking or any type of script kiddie, or just for fun also people try to do DOS attack and other attacks, because those tools are available over internet as very small easy type of tools, maybe backtrack or any type of tools, and just for testing purpose or maybe just for fun they used to violate the rule and try to gain access inside the other network. Apart from that, you will see that few of the devices, they have OS vulnerability, or maybe in network you have some sort of vulnerabilities. So those attacks are also possible. Something you are doing uh, just for checking that tool also. So I have seen few of the guys, just they are start learning some hacking courses and then they start testing that either it's internal. So most of the time we have seen that most of the threats are internal also. So internally they know some sort of trick and then they are doing or running the script, or they are sending some DOS and etc. Even sometimes I have seen that people don't know that what they are doing, but they just do those things and maybe they are spreading the malware everywhere in the network. So either it's intentional or unintentional, that is from the mature hacker or group of hacker or organization group or nation. In all the cases, we need to protect our network from the external threat. Now in the SD-WAN realm, here you can see that you may have outside in threat. So maybe threat is coming to outside in, because I am using local exit concept. Locally I am exiting to outside. So maybe my attack surface will increase. Now here you will see clearly that I have three type of edge. So I may have branch edge, I may have data center edge, I may have cloud edge. So all these three places I need to protect, I need to secure. And what type of options we have in terms of security, that we'll see one by one. So you may have outside to in threat, you may be inside to out threat, you may have internal threats. So some employees or some people, they don't know what they are doing, but they are spreading the malware or the script inside the infra. So for all those things, now in Cisco SD-WAN, we have very powerful security stack. We have very powerful tools available because now these devices, these SD-WAN devices, they are supporting ISR and ASR, and we can build the security stack with help of these new devices. So now you can see that we have full edge security stack. We will see later on that what type of security options we have in the new Cisco devices. They are very rich, and we'll see one by one that what features we have inside these new iOS XE routers and how we are going to plan and provide the security in terms of cloud security. So we can use Cisco DNS, we can use IPS, IDS, and URL filtering. All those features we have in the new Cisco devices. So let's stop here, and next section we will study about what new features capabilities has been added inside the Cisco devices or inside the Cisco SD-WAN. In this session, I'm going to cover that what is the threat surface we have and what is the solution we have. So now you can see that I have my branch here and I have my data center here. Both the branch and data center, they should have some edge devices where I need to provide the security. So I should have very mature type of security. We'll see that what type of security we have, but the input is coming from the cloud, either it is a private cloud or public cloud, etc. So all the places we should provide a tight security whenever the packet is coming in. Now why we have this attack surface, that also we'll discuss. But in terms of SD-WAN, if you see the SD-WAN components, so what we have, say we have orchestration plane, management plane, data plane, and control plane. All these places, by default, we have the security. So when you bring up the control plane and the data plane, at that time you have tight security. We know that the data plane and control plane, they are forming DTLS, TLS tunnel. In between data plane to data plane, we have IPsec tunnel. So we have tight security, but still we want to provide the security to the infrastructure devices, say for example WAN edges, controllers, and when the device is moving from branch to the cloud. So let me show you what I tried to explain here. Here you can see that I can directly go to the cloud. Here you can see that I am directly going to the cloud. At that time, I can use integrated security stack or whatever integrated security suite of things we have. We'll check that. So we have VPN, firewall, URL, IPS, AMP, etc. We'll see that complete stack that we have here. We are going to see. Then other option, you can see that you may have dedicated security appliance. Then what you can redirect your traffic towards the regional hub or towards the dedicated security appliance, and then it will go to the outside. Here I may have two flows. So here I have actually two flow. We'll see. We can discuss that. Suppose if it is a data policy, then I do not need to worry about in and out because that is bidirectional. If it is a control policy, then I need to create two policy, one in to out, other out to in. And then finally you have this cloud delivery where we can use Cisco DNS security, that is nothing but Cisco umbrella, and we can provide the security to the cloud hosted application if I have, say for example, cloud hosted devices as well. All right, so let me show you that attack surfaces that we have. So we may have compliance. Here you can see at that time I'm using IPsec VPN, firewall, we have firewall zone, IPS, IDS. So what is happening, that all the traffic is backhauled towards the data center and then it is going to internet. So that's the traditional way, like in traditional internet also, or in traditional WAN also, we used to do this strategy. Everything is going towards the data center or the regional hub, and then it is going to the cloud where you have the security appliance. The other option we have where we are giving the more attack surface. Here you can see only 25% is attack surface. 50% of attack surface is that for guest access. So suppose you have different VRF or VPN and you are allowing that users inside that particular VRF or VPN to directly access the internet. At that time your attack surface will increase. You are more exposed towards the public cloud. The third option, you can see that we have direct cloud access. So my user can directly go to cloud, my guest can directly go to the cloud. At that time you can see that attack surface is increasing, and we can use app aware routing policies, we can use app aware firewall policies, we can use IPS for attack prevention, we can use AMP, advanced malware protection, for malware prevention. So you can see that attack surface and how we are providing the security, both we have, both the options we have. And then finally you can see this direct internet access. In that case, directly you are going to the internet, directly the guest is going to the internet. So in that case the attack surface is 100%. So we can use app aware, firewall, IPS, DNS, URL filtering, AMP. Whatever required things we have to protect the data, I can use it. Correct. So now you can see in the diagram that what Cisco is providing to the customer. So here you can see that you can have firewall, IPS, IDS, URL filtering, DNS security. All these features we have, and later we'll see when we log into the dashboard from the vManage, we can provide these security policies. We have say firewall, we have intrusion system, URL filtering, advanced malware protection, and then again we have the DNS security as well. As per the attack surface, we have the solution inside the new Cisco devices. Here you will see that in ASR, although it is limited, in VEdge, although it is limited, because in ASR and VEdge, you are assuming to redirect your traffic towards the firewall or towards the security appliances. But in case of ISR, ENCS, Enterprise Network Compute System, and CSR, you can build those things inside the device as well with some virtual image. So here you can see that you have this edge router flexibility. We have full edge security stack. So we have enterprise firewall, app aware routing, firewalling, IPS filtering, advanced malware. Then we have DNS security like Cisco Umbrella, and everything by the end of day we can manage from the vManage. So not only I can do the provisioning, policy, monitoring, reporting, but policy related to security as well, I can go and monitor. And finally we have full visibility for all those services that we have. We have multiple dashboard as well in the vManage dashboard from where we can manage everything. But by the end of the day we can do the troubleshooting as well. We'll see that what is the path, how the traffic is going, etc. So all these things we have inside the vManage dashboard. From there we can go and provide the full security as per the attack service. So we have the attack, but we have the security defense as well. Cisco Viptela fabric is actually very strong, and it's very secure. Why it is strong? Because they are using the 256 AES encryption bit. So that's why the security is very high. At the moment we bring up the control plane, so if you do the deployment and you bring up the control plane or the controllers, and then if you bring up the data plane devices, what is going to be happen that from control plane and inside the control plane itself, they will form either DTLS or TLS protected tunnel. From data plane to control plane also we have the DTLS or TLS tunnel. From data plane to data plane, they will automatically form IPsec, and it is actually very scalable because in SD-WAN we are using a scalable method to form by default full mesh IPsec connectivity. So yeah, that's true that this fabric itself is very secure and strong. And let's see one by one what are the use of all these planes. So here you can see the management plane. It is a to do the overall management of the fabric, the troubleshooting, and the RBAC APIs. We have control plane, that is one of the important component in the fabric, that is nothing but vSmart. What the vSmart is doing, that not only you have the control connection, but you have the OMP peer as well between the edge and the vSmart. You can send the policies, you can send the routing and other traffic engineering, service redirection, all those parameters from the vSmart to the edge devices. Then we have the physical devices. We can do ZTP, PNP. They are with the control plane. They are forming the secure tunnel, and with one data plane to other data plane devices, you have the IPsec tunnel. Obviously, you have the orchestration plane as well. That is nothing but the vBond. That is the first point of authentication, and they are using the whitelist model. They are doing the netting as well. So these are the components we have in the fabric. One by one, if I go and discuss about this, so what is the role of the orchestration? It orchestrates the control and management plane. It is using the whitelist model. They are distributing the list. So whatever list that you are uploading to the vManage, he will send to vBond and he will send to vSmart and vice versa. Whatever they are getting from the PNP site, also they are going and distributing to the ZTP server. From ZTP server, the vBond are getting those lists. So those lists that what you want to authenticate inside the fabric, they are getting redistributed across all the control plane devices. Then you have the intelligent device that will use all type of control policies and data policies. It will help to form the IPsec tunnel as well in between the devices. So it's actually very smart and intelligent device that is there working as a control plane or the intelligent plane in the fabric. Then we have the WAN edge. Nowadays we have all this security suite inside that. So not only that we can do the app aware routing, but we can do app aware security as well. They are the component of the data plane devices. They are forming the OMP, that is the routing peer with vSmart. So here I have OMP. All these vSmarts are OMP peer. So for example, this particular device, it has 3 OMP peer. Like if you have 3 vSmart, then they are doing app aware routing, export performance. You can run OSP or BGP. Now we have EIGRP support. I can run first hop redundancy protocol, that is the VRRP. They can do zero touch deployment. I can do TLOC extension. So all sort of innovations that we have inside the branch routers with help of the control plane. Then finally we have the management plane that can be used as a day 0, 1 and 2. So for the deployment, for the configuration or bringing up all the fabrics, and for the monitoring and operations and maintenance, we can use the vManage. They can support multi-tenancy. You can do the troubleshooting. You have full visibility. We can create policies and policy related templates, configurations and configuration related templates. We can do software upgrade. We have RBAC features, and finally we can integrate with some third-party tools for automation and APIs. So all those things we have, all those features we have inside this secure fabric. That is the combination of, so for example, the control plane, management plane, orchestration plane, data plane. You can do cloud reporting as well with help of vAnalytic, and that's it. That's the secure fabric we have inside the SD-WAN fabric. We know that VS devices, they are coming with the TPM chip, that was nothing but Trusted Platform Module. Likewise, in new Cisco images, that is Cisco IOS XE, they have something called TAM, Cisco Trusted Anchor Module. Now we'll see that what is the differences between the TAM and the TPM module. But both the functionality of the TPM and the TAM modules, that they are used for secure boot up of a system, first thing, and second thing, that those hardware, that TPM chip for example, they are preloaded with some sort of RSA keys. So when you are doing the ZTP, or for example when you are doing the PNP, at that time you don't need to do the manual type of certification process. Automatically when you connect those devices to the WAN interfaces, they will register, and they will do the authentication in terms of certificate validation and all. Everything will be automated. So that's one use case we have. That is, again, once you boot up, then they will do the automatic uh, certification process, and they will join the fabric. Now here you can see the list of the useful features that we have in the Anchor, Cisco Anchor module. So we have the integrity, we have the TAM service library, we have the crypto function. This is your tamper proof storage. We have boot measurement. We have SUDI, SUDI. We know about this UDI. UDI is nothing but unique device identifier, where you can add secure before to that. And this secure UDI, nowadays what we have to do and what is required, that you have to go to PNP portal, plug and play portal. From there you have to register with what part number, what is the serial number and chassis ID, and that will update it to the, so from PNP it will update it to the ZTP, from PNP it will update it to vManage, and then once you are connecting the edge devices, it will get authenticated. So here you can see that we have a small comparison between the TPM and the TAM. Although both of these modules are providing, say for example, crypto engine, non-volatile secure storage, anti-tamper, key storage, random number generation, policy configuration, etc. So both these modules are actually there to provide the physical security and secure certification, authentication, etc. Suppose if you are going to use that, so for example, VS device, when Cisco has acquired that, at that time you can use the TPM chip inside that, which has the certificate signed by Avnet. We'll see in the upcoming slide that now it is not required because Cisco is providing their root certificate to the devices. But before 19.1, these are provided by the Avnet. It doesn't mean that the corporate or company, they don't have their root CA. They can do these things via their root CA as well. Now when we are deploying the router, you can see that we have two routers. Either it's a physical box or it's a cloud or the operating system that we are booting up. The physical box will come with the serial number, it will come with the chassis ID, it has the TPM module. What about this virtual box? Because they don't have the GPM module. So at that time, you have to upload the list that you'll get from the OEM related to serial number and the token. That is nothing but one-time password or OTP. So chassis ID you have, but you don't have serial number, but you have the token that will be used for only one time. And once you are bringing up the device, at that time you have to go and you have to give one command, activate vEdge router, what is the valid chassis number and the token. Detailed process I have listed in this particular small course, that how you can go and deploy the control plane and data plane devices manually. All those devices in this particular course is virtual, means we are using 100% virtual devices, or the only the operating system, just to showcase you that how you can bring up the system. That is that recording, how that course was related to Viptela, and that's why you'll find that I need to certified from the Avnet, or in case that is the lab environment, so I have my own root CA from where I can sign. But you can go and check step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. You will get all the detailed steps in that. All right. So now you can see that from 19.1 we have Cisco everywhere. So Cisco will do all those certification and the criteria that Cisco will fulfill. Here it is using the plug and play mechanism to do the certification authentication, plus to generate the serial number and the chassis ID. All right. Finally, we have this DOS protection mechanism inbuilt in the devices. So suppose you are communicating with respect to vManage and vSmart. So if the traffic is coming from the vEdge, vManage, vSmart, v1, they are coming via the secure TLS or DTLS tunnel. So there is no problem. Traffic is permitted. That's why we have green. But here you can see that we have deny if any other traffic is coming. Then in that case, what the vManage and vSmart will do, that they will deny except these traffic like DHCP, DNS, ICMP, NetConf. If you want to allow some services, you can always go to the tunnel interface and you can allow services. You can see that we have control plane policing, so 500 PPS per flow, and this total number of flows we have. Likewise, if you have the vEdge router, so there also we have the control plane policing or some sort of DOS prevention mechanism inbuilt. So in that case, I may have TLS, DTLS channel with the control plane devices. I may have SD-WAN connection with the SD-WAN IPsec connection with the other VS devices, or maybe I am hosted my devices over Azure or AWS. At that time, I can have IPsec or I can have GRE tunnel with a Zscaler, a cloud security provider, or maybe something is coming from outside. So in these three cases, you can see they are allowing the traffic by default. But if any unknown source is there at that time, you will see that what type of permission you want. Again, you can go to the tunnel interface and whatever things that you want to allow, you can allow. Otherwise, you can disallow other things. All right, so let's stop here. At the moment we bring up the control and data plane, the fabric will go and it will secure itself. Now you will see that in SD-WAN, in Viptela especially, we have the scaling for the control plane. The control plane is highly scalable, and that's the one reason that why this is becoming nowadays very popular. So here you can see the data plane plus the local control plane complexity in SD-WAN. Sometimes we refer this as a class architecture where you have non-blocking type of uh, connection or the tunnels or the physical connectivity that is non-blocking. Say for example, leaf and spine structure. So if you see the structure of the, say for example, spine and leaf or leaf and spine, etc., then all the spines they are connected with leaves, and these leaves they are again connected with a spine. There is no spine to spine connectivity, there is no leaf to leaf connectivity. So here also we have this type of tunnel, means the control connection we have logically like this, but the data plane they are always, say for example, one hop away, but still the complexity is only n. In the traditional network where you have the key complexity, all the devices they are sending their key to all the devices, so their key complexity is nearly n square. Here the complexity is less, so it can scale wisely. Apart from that, we have overlay management protocol that is customized. We can tell that this is customized BGP protocol, which is using TCP based extensible control plane protocol, that is, and you have OMP pair. So for example, in this case I have vSmart here. So for this vSmart, how many OMP pair I have? So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I have 4 OMP pair, and if I count down that how many control connections I have, then you can count, okay, for this particular device if you have only one ISP, then you have say 1, 2 and 3 control connections. So those are the different things, like DTLS or TLS control connection are different, and OMP is something like your routing peer. So later in this segment I'll show you that how the devices they are advertising their routes to the OMP. Now if you go and check what types of OMP routes you have, inside OMP you will find that you have 3 different type of route. One is V route, or the routes coming from service side VPN. One is the TLOC routes, and one is the security route or service routes, for example Firewall IPS IDS. So what is happening that my vSmart, he is the intelligent enough, he is getting collection, or he is taking all the routes from all the devices. He is working behind the scene as a route reflector. So he reflect all these three type of routes. In future, if you want to make any policy, centralized policy, routing policy, or data policy, you can use vSmart and push that, and then they can do traffic engineering, service redirection, route preference, etc. So all those things are possible inside the secure tunnel. Next, we have very important data tunnel. These data tunnel will also form automatically, but what is happening, because the key complexity is only n, how it is, whatever edge devices are there, they are sending their key information. Here you can see that we have the OMP update that has IP subnet TLOC, encryption key, data and app route policy. So to form the IPsec connection, you have, say for example, local TLOC. What you want? You want, so he also have local TLOC. You want remote TLOC, this is TLOC transport locator, and then you need key. So this remote TLOC and key information you are getting inside the OMP update. He will also get the remote TLOC and the key information from the OMP update, and then they will form the IPsec tunnel in between that. That is the data plane tunnel. Now this data plane tunnel is, again, it is segmented inside the VPN. We'll see in the upcoming slides. But remember what type of routes that SD-WAN is forming. They are forming say OMP route. What type of routing tables we have? So OMP routing table, you can go and verify, like show OMP route. Then they are pushing, they are sending the OMP table to these guys. They are installing the OMP routes. From that, they are building the routing table. That is nothing but the RIB information. And from there, they check, okay, active tunnel, inside that I have BFD for tracking the liveliness of the tunnel. Then they are forming the FIB database. So what is the subnet and the next hop tunnel IP, or what is the subnet, what is the next hop actual VPN IP, and associated TLOC with that. And then they are sending the packet from one place to other place. Now again, it's interesting that the vSmart in between, he is helping to form these guys, the encrypted tunnel. So you can think that phase one, like inside VPN, we have two phase one and phase two. So phase one is done via the vSmart, and then phase two, these guys are doing. So that's why the scalability is very high, and this VPN solution can scale if we compare to the traditional VPN. Yes, we have the data plane integrity. So you can see that whenever the traffic will come from the service side VPN, so for example, VPN or VRF10, then this particular data that is coming, that's the payload, once it will come and reach to VPN 0, he will put the ESP header, the UDP header, and then the outer IP, whatever outer IP it has, to reach up to this particular place. So here you have your encryption will happen. Once you reach to this point, your decryption will happen, and then packet that is started from VPN 10 or VRF10, it will delivered. So again, he will go here, he will check what is the VPN table to the routing table, where is actually the destination mapped to, and then he will deliver the data. Okay, so this way the routing will happen. It is a very secure fabric, and inside that you can see the ESP and all the AES, like Advanced Encryption System 256-bit, is embedded there. We have full support of segmentation, and when you are doing the segmentation and the routing, that will support segmentation routing. So that's why we can tell that we have multi topology support. How it is happening? So for example, VPN 10 across the fabric can behave like hub and spoke. The VPN 2 across the fabric redirect towards firewall inside the backhaul data center, and VPN 3 can do some local exit, or maybe it can work as a full mesh. So all these options are possible, everything we can do
with help of obviously the vsmart policy. So I can create vsmart policy, and then we can do 100% segmentation, and multiple segment can work as a different topology inside the same fabric. We have end-to-end segmentation. Yes, you have big VPN 0, and inside that you have segmented tunnels like VPN 1, 2, 3, because throughout the packet life they have some label, and they are using that label format like in MPLS. They are carrying the label from one place to other place, so that's why they have the label. And this segmented label, whatever VRF actually or VPN label we have, they maintain that label. So that's why we have the VPN maintained, or the segmented VPN maintained from one location to other location. Finally, if you see the solution in the old draft, we have say VPN 0, VPN 1 up to VPN 512. That is, VPN 0 is nothing but transport VPN 1 to 511. That was nothing but the service VPN, and the VPN 512 was nothing but the management VPN. So now if you see that, oh, VPN 0, that is going connected to MPLS internet, it is something like untrusted zone. We'll see later on how we can add the interfaces inside the zone. And then you have the trusted zone. Across the fabric, I have a management interface as well for out-of-band management. So we can create these interfaces inside the zone. We can separate the zones. Then obviously you can put the security from your vsmart. So security may be say control policy, not 100% security, but we can have control policy is nothing but the routing policy. And then you have say data policy. So in data policy you can use, say for example, app aware routing policy or net flow policy. So those things I can push from the vsmart as a data policy. Again, these policy are centralized. You can see centralized and localized. So let me draw here properly so you can understand. So what is happening actually, if you check the policy and security, you'll find that policy is having two parts. One is centralized policy, one is control policy, other one is the data policy. Inside control and data policy, you have centralized policy, you have localized policy. Here you also you have centralized policy, you have localized policy. You can tell centralized policy is nothing but global policy. This is nothing but local policy. So this way you can segregate, and now you can see the true power, that not only we have the inbuilt security in the control plane, data plane, while communication also they are using the security both in control plane and data plane, but both places the security parameters are different. We can insert or we can redirect the traffic also. So here you can see that if I'm going to the inside VPN1, you can see I'm redirecting towards the firewall, and then it is going, so from remote side it is going to regional hub to the data center. So all redirection of traffic and all those things are possible. So now if we summarize, service nodes are connected to SD-WAN edge. If you are directly going towards the Azure or AWS, you can use IKE version 1 or 2. And if you are going outside, again we have discussed this, if I am a DIA, then at that time I can go via the backhaul data center, or I can use other parameters as well, but in that case my attack surface will be more than the normal. Alright, so let's stop here, and next section onwards we'll discuss more and more about the security features. As per Cisco innovation, they tried to combine whatever most important and widely used features we have in this security suite. So you can see here that, okay, I have the firewall, IPS, URL filtering, DNS security. All these different protocol or the service elements, they have different rule. So if you want to check the packet flow up to layer 4, now we, with help of say next generation firewall, we can inspect up to layer 7 as well. So we can check the flow of the traffic, the TCP flow, and they will maintain a session table. Inside the session table, you can see all the traffic that is going into out, out to in. Then we have IPS IDs where we can check the signatures. If any anomaly behavior is there, if any behavior that is deviating the standard protocol signature or whatever a standard format of protocol has. So for that we have the IPS system. URL filtering, obviously this is again the core of any type of UTM device, Unified Threat Management devices. So you have long list of URLs where you want to block the users to go. Then we have advanced malware protection where uh, we have the features like file reputation and sandboxing. So you can send certain file to the cloud. From there they will go deep inside that file. They can check all the contents of file, and then if it is safe, then it will go to the destination. It's something like that. So you are doing some conversation, but one copy you are sending to the cloud. He's checking everything, and if it's okay, then the communication will continue. We have simplified cloud security, means that Cisco has invested a lot inside the DNS security. That umbrella is Cisco umbrella. That suite of protocol is coming under umbrella. And at the moment they are trending, maybe it's a number one DNS security at the moment in the market. So now if you add all these things, you'll find that, okay, my branch, they want firewall type of services, IPS, URL filtering, malware protection, and the DNS security in case if it is hosted over cloud. Even any type of edge devices or branch device, we can connect with the DNS security. We'll go and we'll perform the lab task. If you go to the configuration and you go to the security tab, you'll find that you have the compliance where you can use firewall IPS. Guest access, you can use firewall and URL. Means we have different tabs, inbuilt tabs are there. Okay, for this type of traffic you use these features, for this type of traffic you use this feature. If you directly going to the cloud, you can use combination of firewall, IPS, malware protection, DNS security. Now suppose if your threat surface is 100% open, that means you are directly going to the cloud, say you are directly going to the internet to be more precise, then you use all the features, say firewall, IPS, URL filtering, advanced malware protection, DNS security. Whatever offering that we have from Cisco, you use all those offerings. And then finally we have custom as well. If you want, you can create your custom made policies as well. So let's stop here, and next section onwards, let's start with one by one. We'll see firewall and other features. Let us understand more that how firewall, DNS, URL filtering, all these things are working behind the scene. So here we have the example of firewall, and we have two different type of flows. The important thing here is that the devices, the iOS XE or the ISR routers, they are using N bar to identify the application. And with help of N bar, they identify what is the application ID, and that ID as a metadata they are sending to the firewall, so then firewall can take decision. Okay, so here you can see the LAN to WAN movement and WAN to LAN movement. Packet is doing the IP destination lookup, then N bar, then DNS security, then VRF, then CEF. So when it is going to the egress, here again you can see the firewall, IPS, URL filtering, AMP, NBAR, NAT, and DNS security. So this is the way that one by one the packet or the application ID has done their lookup, and according to what policy we have configured, so for example URL, AMP, NBAR, they are taking decision. Okay. When the packet is coming from say outside to inside, same type of lookup is there, say firewall, IPS, URL, AMP, DNS, and NBAR. So the packet is categorized in the same way. Now what is important here, that if you see the application firewall, it is recognized by the NBAR engine. The DNS security, this is when we are sending that query to the cloud and it is coming from the cloud. In both the places we are using, say, encryption DNS method, or we are encrypting the packet and then we are sending to the DNS cloud or Cisco umbrella. Both these things, say application aware firewall or DNS security, they are working inside the iOS data plane. But this IPS IDS web filtering AMP, we are going to use the Linux container for that. Okay, so these are the part of iOS, and this is the rest of the security like IPS IDS web filtering AMP. They are part of Linux container. How it look like, we'll see in the upcoming slides. So before going to the Linux container, you can see the data plane path. So you have N bar, and they put the application ID as a metadata to firewall. And once the firewall is doing three-way handshaking, means SYN ACK and SYN-ACK, then next time when the packet is coming with certain application ID, the firewall, according to the firewall rule, it is taking decisions. So here you can see the N-bar engine will add the data path once the ABC application visibility control map. N-bar inspect up to L7 traffic, and N-bar is attaching application ID and putting that metadata to the firewall, so firewall can take decision in the data path or in the data plane. Now when we are talking about the DNS security, in DNS security also you have the DNS request. It is going to ISR. It is encrypting that DNS request, sending to the cloud. Then cloud, uh, once he will analyze all the packet, then he send the response. Then the response packet means what type of action it has. Either it has to allow or it will go to the internet. So either it can block or it will go to the internet. Then this will take decision. So the summary is that in between to the edge, the ISR and the DNS cloud, we have encrypted communication, encrypted DNS communication, and then the DNS, according to DNS processing, they are taking the decision either allow it or stop it. Now we already discussed that we have the LXC container for IPS IDS URL filtering and AMP. Here you can see that in data path we have virtual port groups, we have some management port group, we have traffic virtual port group. When it has to take decision, it will go to the control plane, and from there it will take decision. Inside that control plane you have see that we have Linux OS. Over that we have iOS daemon who is tracking this iOS, who is tracking this container. So suppose if any problem with the IPS IDS engine, then iOS can detect that and it will send alarm. Okay, so that's why the vManage will come to know, oh, there is problem with this virtual image that we have in the container. So this IPS runs on the LXC container using control plane resources, traffic punted to the controller using virtual port group interfaces, reserved. So for this you have reserved CPU and memory. So we have reserved CPU and memory for the containers, enable deterministic performance. So you can see that with help of VPG, it is going querying and then it is taking the response, and then in this process, in this way, they used to work. So let's just stop here and we'll continue more detail and depth analysis of all these functions that we have. Let us discuss about container architecture and installation. So this is the container architecture. Here you can see that we have control plane, we have data plane, and we have service plane. So I can push the configuration. I'll go to vManage and I can create the configuration. I can push to the IOST, and from here you can see that it is going towards the control plane and it is going towards the data plane as well. So what is happening when a packet will come, it will do the request. We have the GRE tunnel in between the data plane and the control plane. That GRE tunnel is nothing but termed as a AppNav GRE tunnel. So when the packet will come, it will go to the control plane. Now it will reach to the snort engine, Here in the Snort engine, you can see that we have three different type of boxes: BCTI, Beaker, and TG. BCTI is nothing but the URL filtering, who will take the decision. Beaker is nothing but the AMP, advanced malware protection, and TG is nothing but the threat grid. So obviously we know that behind the scenes Cisco Talos is working, and whenever you have the file, they have some sort of cache here, so that file can go to the Talos in the Cisco cloud, just to check that what is the contents inside that particular file. So again, what is happening here? What is the flow path? Say you are sending the request, it is going to the TZ. From TZ, it will go outside to the cloud to do the lookup, and once they respond, and then the reply will go to the customer. Either you have to block or allow certain type of packets or the files. Correct? So this is the overall internal diagram or picture here, where we have the control plane. IOSD takes care of the app hosting, installation, configuration, provisioning of feature both the service and the data plane. So this is the role of IOSD, who will take care of both the control and data plane. Then we have data plane. In between data plane and the control plane, we have the Gre tunnel, and then we have the service plane. Inside that, we have hoses, open source, Snort engine, AppNav, health, reporting agent, and also it is checking that health and monitor and reporting all sort of stuff. Suppose if something will happen with the Snort engine, then with the service plane, it will inform the IOSD and it will inform the vManage. So internally they are doing this type of communication. Behind the scene, so many things are going on related to this Snort engine, and various boxes that we have, or various functions we have related to URL, AMP, and TG. Alright, so let's see that what is the prerequisite. Here you can see that we have two option: cloud lookup, on box lookup. The only difference between the cloud lookup, inside cloud lookup you have cloud low and cloud medium, where you have IPS, URL filtering, AMP, and the threat grid, that is the TG. In the cloud medium, again you can see the difference is that you have one core and two core. These devices are supported, these devices are supported. The difference between the cloud lookup and on box lookup is that in on box lookup you have local store as well, just to check what is the URL filtering, and then I have the local say database where I can check those contents. In cloud lookup, everything will go to the cloud and it will do the lookup and it will come back. Okay. So next, what I'm going to show you, that how you can go and install this container, what are the steps involved to do the installation. For that, Cisco has given nice document. Let me walk you through that document. So this is the Cisco document that you can go and refer. In this particular document, if we go inside, say, SD-WAN security solution virtual image, so let me go there. So you'll see that how we can go and install the virtual image. That virtual image, Cisco has started with 18.4 image release, that is the vManage image release, that is supporting IPS, IDS, URL filtering, and all those features that we have seen already. These are the supported device list. So what we need to do, first of all, we need CCO account. So we go to the downloads, router, SD-WAN, XE, router, and the ISR platform. Then you will see the list of virtual image. You can go and download that first of all. Once you download, then you go to the log to the vManage, go to the maintenance software repository, choose that virtual image, upload that virtual image. So for example, in the vManage, once you upload that virtual image, then you can go to the configuration and security and you can create all these policies. Now here is one catch, that see, so far what we have done, we have downloaded and uploaded that image to my vManage dashboard. So let me first of all log into the vManage dashboard and show you that. So in our case, it is already downloaded and uploaded to the vManage dashboard. What you can do that you can go to configuration, and if you go to the policies, you can obviously see the say you need to go to the security to see the security policies. But before that, let me go to the maintenance, and here you can see the software repository. Inside the software repository, I can see that okay, I have the virtual image. This is my virtual image, that is app hosting and LXC container. It has been installed. If you want to upload new image and activate it, you have option. You can upload the virtual image like this, drag and drop here. If you have in the local file system, you can go and upload from the local file system. So once you upload this inside this, what is the next task you want to do? You want to go inside the configuration and the policies, and then you want to create the policies. Again, this is actually the normal policy that we use to create. If you want to create the security policy, then you have to go inside the configuration and the policies. This policy is nothing but security policy. Now inside this security policy, if you go and click add security policy, so now you can see that inside the configuration security, we have add security policy. And then you can see say policy related to compliance, guest access, DIA, etc. Now what is important here that I want to mention that see at the moment my branch devices, they don't know those images because I have installed uploaded only to the vManage. So suppose if you go and create your first policy and then you will go and apply this policy to that particular branch device, then it will download that image, okay, to its own, say for example ISR router, and then it will work. So first time when you deploy the policy, it will take some time, okay, because we are not installing these containers to the uh, branch side devices. So first time they will take some time, but next time onwards when you create policy, apply or push the policies, then it will not take much of the time. Alright, so this is the way that we can go and do that policy installation, and we can create it and apply. We'll see later on how we can apply and create more detail about all these things. Let me walk you through the new dashboard. Means Cisco has added so many inside this dashboard. If you go and check my old videos where I have used 17.x dashboard, this is something like 19.1 dashboard and the new image purely under Cisco. So here you can see if I go inside the dashboard, inside dashboard itself, I have three dashboard. So I can go and click dashboard. You can see that I have main dashboard, VPN dashboard, security dashboard. Main dashboard, we are very much familiar. What are the contents we have? This is as it is, that in the old code. Then we have the VPN dashboard where I can go and check VPN related thing like, okay, these WAN devices, the health, the total WAN health, and what are the top applications. Then interestingly, we have the security dashboard as well, where we can see security related stuffs. So I can go and check what is the firewall enforcement, means firewall related things. Then I can go and check top signature, means IPS IDS related things, URL filtering related things, and the AMP, advanced malware protection, what is the file reputation, what is the file analysis. So in the dashboard itself, I can go and check. Obviously, everywhere you have this square box, you can go and open that. You can expand that, and then you have the chart and the details. So we have the chart view and the detail view that we have in the old code as well. Apart from that, you can see on the top that you have inspected and you have dropped. So you can go and check that also. We have the timer counter like 1 hour, 3 hour, 12 hour, like that. So we can go and drill down those things as well. This is again from the dashboard. If you want to go and check the individual device and the reports or the graph related to individual devices, then you have to go and click to the monitor, go inside the monitor. So let me go inside any of the edge device. So for example, monitor network. Inside that you can see that we have the WAN edge plus the co-location cluster. Now this is also a new thing that has been added in this new Cisco SD-WAN. Now for example, I will go here to the CSR router, and now here you will see that we have all the old stuffs, like we have the application interface, TCP optimization, WAN throughput, flows, the top talkers. Some of them has been removed. Instead of DPI, I can see we have the WAN throughput. Flows at the moment, no traffic is there, top talkers, but we have the security monitoring as well. So that is the thing I want to highlight. Inside security monitoring, I can go and check firewall, I can go check IPS, URL filtering, I can go check AMP, and now here we have the custom option that I can select, and I can go back in the date and I can select year and months as well. That is not there in the dashboard. In the dashboard, you have only 1 hour to 7 hour, 1 hour to 7 day counter. We can go and check malicious, clean, and unknown logs, URL, DNS direct, those things also we can go and check. Okay, so these things we have, you can see that newly added from Cisco. So we have, you can say that embedded security dashboard inside the actual dashboard. And not only we can see over the main dashboard, that is the vManage dashboard, but we can go device by device and we can check all those things. Correct. In real time also, if you go and see, they have added app hosting commands related to the CLI things. If you want to see over the GUI, so you have added, you have all those new commands. Even Cisco has added EIGRP, so we have EIGRP related commands as well, and some of the new features as well. So many new things has been added. You can see the policy and the data and the app filter and policy QoS, policy zone pair. So many new enhancement and features that we have in the new code. Correct, you can go and check like that. Let me go to the T-shoot as well. In T-shoot, same that we have in the old. Now let me go quickly to the maintenance, and inside the maintenance you can see we have one tab, security as well. So which devices I can go and enable these features like firewall, IPS, URL, advanced malware protection, DNS security. And if you want to see the images, for that also you can go to the software image. This is like the normal one. You can see here we have 19.1.x that is running, and inside the V edges we have 16.11. Then I can go and check the virtual image, that is the actual container that is used for all the firewall and all the security devices. All right.
In this session, we are going to learn about the firewall and the policies. Now, for users, you can see that Cisco has given this nice wizard option that where you have the compliance. If you're creating rules related to compliance, you can use application and intrusion prevention, guest access. You have these options, DCA, direct cloud access. You have these many options. Suppose if you want to mix, or if you want to create your own options, you can go to custom and you can create your own. All right, so first of all, let me log into the dashboard, and from there I will show you that what options we have. So let me log into the vManage. So here I am inside the vManage dashboard, and if you want to go to the security policy, you have to go inside configuration and policies, and then you will get this option for, you have to go inside configuration and security, and then you will get option for security policy. Now suppose if you want to create some new policy, what you can do, you can go and click add security policy, and here you can see all these options.
Suppose if you want to create only firewall policy, so better select custom, click proceed. And now on the top you can see that you have all those options that if you want to mix and match you can use. So you can use firewall, IPS IDS, URL, AMP, DNS security, and then you have the summary. In this case, let's go and see that from where I can create the firewall policy. So here you have to go and click create new policy. Suppose I want to create one policy where I want to block, say, between two zones. So two VPNs, a VPN 10 and VPN 20. You give the description, nice description what you want to do, and then you can proceed and you can create the rule. So before going proceed and create the rule, I will go back to the PPT. I will walk through a few of the slides and then I'll come back here and then I'll show you that how you can create the policy. So let's go back to the PPT. So here it is. So suppose we are focused on firewall policies. So let us discuss about firewall. We know that Cisco, when they started their security, initially they came with ACL, access control list. Those were not stateful. Those are stateless, means packet by packet, packet by packet. The things will go as per source IP, destination IP, and certain port numbers. Then in the ISR itself, Cisco has introduced zone-based firewall, and that zone-based firewall is nothing but you have option to you can inspect the traffic. So when the traffic is going from out to in, or maybe coming out to in or going in to out, in both the cases you have something called session table, and inside that session table you can see that what is the source, what is the destination, what is the flag, what is the protocol, etc. Okay, so the same way that firewall, say for example, if you know Cisco ASA firewall is working and creating their rule, the same way we have this app aware firewall. The advantage here that they can examine layer 7 header of packet. So that is the nice thing that has been added. So not only that it can inspect the L4, so for example L2 to L4, but it can inspect L7 as well. Why it can inspect L7? Because if you see the previous slides, previous videos, you'll find that we have N bar before the firewall rule, and N bar, what it is doing, that it will recognize the application, and when the metadata is going inside the firewall, they put the app ID, and with that app ID plus obviously you have the VPN ID as well. So with help of that app ID and VPN ID, he'll come to know, okay, this is this application, and for this application I have this rule that I need to apply. So this is the mechanism. Not only this is, say, a firewall, but this is app aware firewall. So initially we have one concept in SD-WAN, that is application aware routing. Now you have the application aware firewall as well with help of NBAR, and Cisco is continuously doing innovations in NBAR. Initially it was NBAR 1, now it is NBAR 2. Even new releases also come, means they are improving the NBAR code to recognize the application. So at the moment you can see that it can check up to 1400 plus application as a layer 4 application. Drop traffic by application category. Yes, we can. He can. This particular file can understand the application as well. So applications, those are coming from cloud or any private or public hosted cloud also. He can inspect that, and according to that he can take the decision. He understand the segment as well, because he knows that which segment I have to put the rule. All the PCI compliances are there. High speed logging also they can understand. They have the self zone policy as well. So new features have been added, and we'll see in future again Cisco will add some more feature related to security. Now this firewall can protect from intra zone, means same VPN. So for example VPN 10 or 20 within the site or across the site also. They are using drop, inspect, and pass. So these three options we have. This is purely related to Cisco old technology, that is zone based firewall technology, that all the actions it is taking. Now the second option we have that across the VPN if you want to put the policy. Suppose VPN 1 and VPN 2, but remember you need to do some sort of route linking, because by default two different VPN or VRF, they will not communicate. So you should have to do route linking first with the say for example vSmart policy, and then you need to create the policy, or then you need to go and create this zoning firewall policy. So first it will check the routing. Obviously if you have route, then only you will apply certain firewalling rule. So you should have the route, and then you can apply this policy. How you can do it? You can go to the configuration and security, and then you have the security policy. You can go to this section. I will walk you all the steps how you can go and create the rule from the vmanage. You create the rule, and then you have to push this rule inside the template. I will show you that how you can go and push the rule. So for example, I'll go to branch number 3, and I'll create first of all, I'll do the route linking. So branch 1 and branch 3. So for example, you can see the local subnet is 10.3. In this diagram, you can see 10.3, 10.0 something. And here is the local subnet is 10.5, 10.0. This is the local subnet. This is the local subnet. So according to that, I will create some policy. But before that, I will do the route linking policy so they can communicate, and then we'll apply the firewall policy. How you are going to create and apply the firewall policy? You need to define what is the inside zone, what is the outside zone. Say in my case, I'm going to use say a VPN 10 and VPN 20. So my lab is a bit different. I have zone security, say call Corp. Corp is VPN 10, and then I have say zone security called PCI, that having a VPN 20. So like that, I will use these two things. I will also go and match. So while creating the policy, I will match certain traffic, but basically I want to match IP traffic. If you match IP, obviously you'll match everything, but I'll show you that how you can go and match certain protocols, because we have feature up to L7 mapping. Once I will do this step, once I will do these and these steps in the GUI itself, so we don't have to go and type all the commands. In the GUI itself, the logic is very clear. So you create the zone, you create the zone security, you create the map it inside the zone pair security, and automatically you will see once I apply this policy, automatically this policy map, class map, everything you can see. So if you see the CLI, if you want to check the CLI, create zone related command first. Then obviously you should have class as well, because this class you need to call inside to outside class. Here you can see the service policy type inspect is inside to outside. Finally, you have to call here that class, the policy map, and then inside to outside, the class type is inside to outside, and what action inspect default is drop. So same type of policy I'm going to create. I will tell you that what policy and what are the things are there in my example. Then finally, if you want to create some ABC type of policy, that also you can do. So you can create one another class, name ABC class. You can map or you can match those protocols. With those protocols, you can take these actions. Then here you can see that I am calling class map same inspect, and then again inside that I am calling service policy ABC policy, and then I'm applying it. Okay, so all these options are actually, if you do via the GUI, automatically things will come, it will pop up, it will ask you, oh, you want to do this, you want to do this, and you can easily go and achieve all these tasks. So let me stop here, and the next section we'll do the labs. We'll create the route leak policy and then the zoning policy. Later on we can go and add and delete something inside the zoning policy. In this section we'll create the firewall policy for the same zone. So for example, I have two branches. Let me draw here the branches. I have branch number, say for example 1. and I have branch number 3 where I have actually logged in. Inside that, for VPN say 40 or VRF 40, so both the places VRF 40, here I have one Windows system. So first of all, I'll show you that what IP addresses we have inside the VRF, and then from this Windows system I'll try to ping this place. After the firewall policy will block that. Okay, so let's do that testing inside the same VPN, say 40 zone. Let's do that. So let me log in and show you all those configuration, because what are the things I want to do? I will create data prefix list as well. So what is my source IP, what is my destination IP prefix, all those things step by step will create and will understand all the flow. So if I go here to the device, so for example branch 1, and if I type say show IP interface brief, in my case the VRF that is associated with VPN or VRF 40 or VPN 40 is nothing but gig 7. So if I go there and if I show you the configuration, here you can see this is the VRF 40, this is the IP. So this is the IP. I'll make this as a destination and then I'll ping show IP interface say gig 7. From this particular subnet I will ping, that is 10.540. So my source is nothing but 10.540.0/24. Destination is nothing but 10.340. So let me do the RDP, because here in this network I have one machine. Say let me show you that 10.540.10, from where I can RDP. So I'll go and RDP to 10.540.10 and then I will ping to 10.340.2. So let me log in. So here you can see that IP is 10.540.14, and if I ping to 10.3.40.2, that is the branch 1 IP. So I'm able to reach. What I will do after creating the policy from the same zone policy, it should block. So let's go and create that policy. I will go to configuration and policy. Once I am inside the configuration and policy, I just wanted to add some list. So data prefix list that I'm going to use. So I'll make this a firewall source, and that I know that source is nothing but this is IPv4. The IP is set, for example, 10.5.40.14 also I can use. This is the source wants to reach to destination, or I can do one thing, I can use this complete subnet, add it, and then the destination. So we know that in firewall we have 3 mode: drop, inspect, and pass. We'll see that all those modes. I'm going to use inspect, so my session table will know, okay, this is the source going towards the destination. And then again, if you want to drop, you can drop it. So firewall, this is the destination. What's the destination? Destination is nothing but 10.3.40.0/24. So we are going to use these lists, and I don't want to create any other thing because I want to create the security policy. I'll go here to the policy, I will click add, and actually I need to add one policy, so go here and add one policy. At the moment I will click custom, because once you are inside the custom, you will get all the option. On the top you can see you have all the options. I want to create new policy, and the policy is nothing but say firewall inspect, because I want to inspect first of all, and this is firewall inspect rule, say for example between or rule in same VRF. that is VRF 10, or sorry, that is VRF 40. So this is a rule I want to create. Let me expand, let me increase the font size. I'll go here, click sequence rule. What is your source? So my source data prefix is, just now we have created, source is the firewall and the source, where it is, so firewall source. Alright, what is your destination data prefix? So destination also we have created. Destination is nothing but the firewall destination. Okay, now I have the source, I have the destination. What you want to do, I want to inspect one of the protocol, that is ICMP. The protocol number is 1. Save here. Once you save this policy, you can see that on the top you have drop enable. Actually this will come in the last. If you see the CLI, you'll find this is the default statement. So this is the main policy that we have created related to our firewall. That's the source and the destination and the block. Okay, so I'll go and save this policy, but here in the rule column you can see I have one rule. I should allow that what is the VPN you are looking for. So you'll go here and click apply zone pairs. Already we have the zones created. I can simply go and use. So for example, this is nothing but VPN 40, that is guest inside, and that is nothing but 40, because we are going to apply the policy in the same. So now you can see the source that will take the prefix, that is nothing but 10.5.40.0. Inside VPN 40, the rule will be applied to the destination, that will take the destination inside VPN 40 or VRF 40, that is 10.3.40.0. This is the rule we have. Let me save this policy. Click next. Now these things I don't want at the moment, so I'll skip all these steps. And in the last here, so firewall policy, that is nothing but summary. Firewall policy, say for VRF 10, firewall policy to block something, to block, sorry for that, to block VRF, actually that is not 10, 40 traffic. I should give the correct name. Alright, so we are very much done. Now here you can see the setting, firewall, direct internet application. If you want a direct internet local exit to the VPN 0 or through the VPN 0, you can use this option. If you want to protect it from the DOS TCP attack, you can go and enable this. You can give what is the number of sessions you want to enable it. So let me do one thing, say maximum 60. Now you have this option to preview. So before saving that policy, you can go and preview. You have the zone based policy, that is a firewall inspect, which is the source, what is the destination, what is the protocol. Say by default it is taking drop. I should go in the action and I can convert this into inspect, otherwise it will drop. So I will do that. Then default action is drop. Then what is your VPN, what is your zone pair, what is the direction of the policy, what is the access list or prefix list you are using, what is the subnets inside the prefix list. TCP SYN flood limit is 60, and the internet zone that we have by default, it is denied. So before saving this policy, I'll go back, because one place I can see that I should edit this. So I'll go back to the firewall. I'll go back here and I go to edit section, because in this action bar I need to go to the action and I need to inspect this. I want to inspect actually. So you can see 3 methods: inspect, pass and drop. Now save it. First of all, you need to save this sequence first, and then it will tell you to save this policy. Save it, and then I'll scroll next, 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 next. we are in the correct place. I'll do the preview, and here you can see the action is inspect. So now we can save this policy. Now we have the policy built, but we should go inside the template and attach with the devices. So branch 1 and branch 3, I will go and attach this particular template with branch 3 and branch, not this template, actually it's not like that. We should go and edit this template. So you should go here, and if you go to the additional template, in the bottom you can see that you can call one policy, update this, and since this particular template is connected with two devices, I want to update in this only, that is the below one. So you can go there, and if you want to see that what is the old policy and what is the new policy difference, then that is also, you can go scroll, and you have side by side difference option as well. So you can click here, side by side difference. If you go scroll down, and you can see that what are the new things you are adding here. So here you can see that we are adding the class map and the other stuffs as well. Although in the configuration it was showing that we have created only the zone and zone pair and the policy direction, but here everything is created like class map, policy map, inspect, all those things you can go and verify. Alright, so likely we'll scroll down and we'll configure the device. You have two devices you want to attach. Yes, I have two. I want to attach with both the edge devices. Like that, I'll go to the template number 3, that is for the branch number 3. I'll click edit. Here also I'll go and click additional template. I will select what we have created to filter VPN 40 traffic. Go next, configure it. And while it is pushing the template, let me go and log into the CLI to the devices, and let me show you the configuration change. So here in the CLI, you can go and check the object group. You can see we have two objects for 30 and 40, and we are blocking ICMP, that is protocol number 1. Then you can go and check show IP access list. So here you have the access list firewall inspect, and this is the object group policy, very much that we are using in the ASA firewall, same type of pattern we have. Now you can go and check type map, class map type inspect, that is for the zone based firewall, so it is in the class map. Then parallelly I can go and check policy map type inspect. So here also you can see the rule is inspect. Then you can go and check the zone, and then you can go and check zone pair as well, zone pair security. So these are the verification things that you can do. Now if you want to see the session, for that you need to go inside the policy map and then say, let's see what options we have. So I can go to the policy map and then the session. We should use type inspect, and then we'll can go like this. So zone pair and the session. Likewise, I can simply go to the zone pair, and here you can see that we have the inspect session. What is the half open established connection? All those things are coming as per the rule, correct? So same thing I can go and check to the other device also, because we should verify that that policy is pushed down to the devices. This has been pushed down. Alright, so next what we'll do, we will initiate the traffic. So let me go to the session, and I have initiated the traffic from the source. Now if I go back to the CLI, you can see the session. See, this is the source, this is the destination, ICMP is open. So my firewall is able to track the session. And here I can see that ICMP packets and they are increasing, see 194 and all those things. So now we have the open session and we can go and verify. If I go and change the policy, means suppose if I want to drop that, then what I will do, I will go here and I'll change the policy. So let's go to the configuration and the security policy. We'll go here and click edit and we'll go to the firewall and the say edit. Go here and click this pencil button. What you want in the action, I want to drop and log. Save this policy. Before saving this, I should save the sequence. Save the policy. Yes, I want to push log. It has been in log mode because we are doing some dynamic changes. But yeah, next time if you go and click here to the drop this, it will obviously go and drop this policy and template policy locked in the edit mode. It got locked because of it was ongoing process and we try to use that. If we go to the tools and let's see that if we can reset the user in the administration and manage user. If I can go and reset this user, let me see if we have the option to reset that user in the tools, in the operational commands. So if I go to say for example branch 1 ch1 reset locked user and admin reset, failed to reset the user. So this is one option actually they have given to reset the users as well. Otherwise we need to wait till that error will go and then we can do some changes. But best way is that if you have applied some policy, do not change it when it is doing its work. So what will happen, the vmanage will lock that user. So be careful while you are doing any dynamic change, but in the lab environment we can do that just to verify that if I do any change in the policy, it has the effect. So I'll click here drop and log and let's see if it can push this policy and let's see. Okay, it is reset, but you have seen that how we can create the policies, how we can apply this policy, and then how we can verify from the CLI. In the vmanage, it is taking some time to come and display all those information. So if you want to see from the vmanage, what you can do, that you can go to the monitor and inside monitor you have the network option. Inside the network option you can go to branch 3 ch1. Inside that you can see that you have firewall. You can go inside the firewall and you can see 1 hour counter. So to display inside the vmanage it is taking some time, but from CLI you can quickly go and check. Alright, so let's stop here. In this case I want to create firewall policy with different zone. Now if we are using different zone policy, that means I should have one policy, control policy or routing policy, that allow different VPN or VRF to do the route leak. So first of all I need to do the route leak. I'll do between the VPN 10 and VPN. So for example I have one test PC 10 and 40. So I need to create the route leak first. Then I will create the firewall policy. That firewall policy this time will take source as say VPN 10, say take VPN 40, and the destination I will take the IP inside the VPN 10. Before that, we'll do that testing that okay, VPN 10 and 20 after route leaking they are pinging to themselves, and then we'll create the policy. Okay, so let's go to the vmanage and create the route leak policy first. Then we'll come back and do the verification. So let's go there. All right, so I am here in the vmanage, and from vmanage also, if you want and go to the tools, if you go to the branch number, say for example, if I go here to branch number 3 and I can log in here. Once I log in, I can go and check show IP interface brief. First of all, I want to know that what is the IP address actually of branch number 1 CH1. So I'll go here to branch 1 CH1 and let me log in. So once I log in here, let me make some more space. What is the IP here? We know that inside the VPN or the VRF10 we have IP 10.3, and here if you go and if you ping to the VRF, say for example 10, that IP is 10.3 10.2. Let's confirm that should be 10.3 10.3 10.2. That's correct. So if you are pinged to that VRF, I should able to reach because all the VRFs are able to ping. But if I go to this place, if I ping from VRF 40 to VRF 10 from other side, this will be not successful, correct? Because we haven't done the inter-VRF routing. So for that, first of all, I will do this route leaking from 10.3 10.0 to 10.5. What's this? 10.5.40.0. So 10.5.40.0. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I will create one policy with these two subnets. This will be the source, or I am going to do the route leak with 10.5.40 with 10.3.10. So let's go here to the policies. We'll create one policy. Here I need here I need prefixes, not the data prefix, because it is going to be the control policy. So I should use these prefixes, and this is for example, say branch 3 and say VPN, the branch 3 VPN 40. What's the IP? The IP is 10.5.40.0/24. 100% correct. Then I'll add one more. What is this? This is nothing but branch 1 VPN 10, and that is 10.3.10.0/24. Correct. Now we can easily go next. Let me fix the screen size first. I can go and click add the route and control policy. What is this? This is route leak policy. Yes, this is route leak policy, and I can reuse the name, so I'll copy that. Alright, so let's go and add the route. What is that? That is nothing but source and destination leaking. So what is happening in this case, that you go and you select the site. What is the site you have? The site is, say for example, branch 1. This site having the prefix, although we have the VPN and prefix both. So this side had the VPN. If you want to match all the routes, you can use that also. So the VPN is nothing. Let me scroll down. So what I want, that my VPN is 10, and the prefix is that we have created This is the prefix. So match the route, match the VPN, and take the action. In the action, accept it and export to VPN 40. That is what? Let me scroll down. That is something like guest VPN. So this is one statement. This time, next time what we are going to do? Next time also we'll match the site. So what's the site you have? You have site number 3, where it is, branch number 3. Then what other things you have? Then I have VPN. What VPN you have? VPN is the guest. Let me scroll down. And then what prefix inside that? So prefix we have taken it as a DC, branch 3 VPN 40. So now this case what we are doing, we are matching the VPN that is guest, and in the action we will export towards the, so I'll go to the action and accept it and export to VPN 10. That is my VPN or corporate VPN. Alright, so let's go and save this policy first. Go to the default action. For example, I will accept, and this is purely that we are doing the say route leaking. You can refer the old training videos as well for that, because since this is the route leak policy, I am going to apply this policy to the inbound direction of say branch number 1 and branch number 3. Even I can select all branches as well if I want, but let's see branch 1 and branch 3. Click add, preview this policy. Now this is your policy. Taking the route of branch 1 of VPN 10, you can see the prefix also we have created, and send to guest. Take the guest, send to VPN, apply to the inward direction. Save this, and before doing anything, I will go here to the RDP, and if I ping, so let me complete the session first. Alright, so still it is pinging. Let me stop this session, and now if I ping to 10, sorry, let me use that correct, ping to 10.3.10.2, this is actually the IP address in the different VRF. We created the policy, we haven't applied the policy, correct? So this will not work. To do the route leak policy that should work, you should go and apply this policy. So 10.3, you can see different VRF is not working. So what I'll do, I will go back to this place, route policy. I will click activate this, and once you activate, if the policy will push, then you'll find that now from VRF 40, from one of the PC, you are able to reach to the gateway that is the other side, that is inside the VRF 10. So we'll wait till the policy will get pushed, and then we'll see this output. This should ping. So once it will ping, the next stage or a step is to go and create the firewall policy and then do the inspection for this particular traffic. So after applying the policy, I can't see that I'm able to ping, but if I go here to branch 3 and if I check the routes, I am learning the routes inside say VRF 40. So inside VRF 40, you can see that I am learning the 10 route, and suppose if I ping that 10.3.10.2, and I should use the VRF, so ping inside the VRF, say 10.3, what's that, 10.3.10.2, correct? So from router I am able to ping. If I see any other IP behind that gateway, this is one of the other orchestration. So from router I am able to ping, but this is connected, means inside this network I have another PC, and from here I am not able to ping. So what I'll do, I'll go and first of all I deactivate the security policy. So I'll go here and I should remove from the template, and then I should deactivate or remove this. So let's go to the template. Here I have the template number 3. Let me go to edit, additional template. I don't want the policy at the moment, leave it, update, next. And same I will do with the other device, that is the branch 1 devices. So I'll go here, edit, and inside this template also I don't want it, so let me go and update. I don't have any security policy. Yes, confirmed from the 2 devices. And then let me see the RDP ping is happening or not from the route leaking policy. So now it is working. So you can see that in the different session, means in the different VRF, I can ping from my this PC. So route leaking is working. If you want to verify further from the VS Smart, if you go and check show run policy, you can see this route leaking policy, full-fledged route leaking policy is here, and that's why different devices can talk to each other. So let's stop here, and in the next section I'll create different zone firewall policy, and then we'll see that in the inspection rule it is coming here or not, how we can inspect that policy. Alright, now we'll go and create the firewall policy. So for that you should go inside the security, and before even going to the security you should go and check the list. Do you have the data list? What is the source and what's the destination you have? So here you can see in the list, I have list. Where is my source? So here you'll see that I have the source 10.540.0, that is the source. And where is the destination? So if you go and check the destination, firewall destination is 10.3. This is the new destination. Yeah, 10.3, 10.0. So this is the source, this is the destination. Across 2 different VRF that we have where we want to put the rule. So we'll go back here to the security. Inside security, I want to add new security policy. I'll use compliance because it has only 2 options, so I can skip easily. I'll create new rule. Say inspect VRFs, and I'll copy this so I can use the same name all the time. Then I'll go and add what is the source. So we have the source, that is nothing but the firewall source. Let me scroll down. This is the source, that is 10.540, and then we have the destination as well. What's the destination prefix I have? So let me add that also. Let me scroll down. I have this destination prefix, that is nothing but new destination 10.3, 10.0. And then I'll go and add the protocol number 1, that will be for ICMP. So let me add that. Then I'll go to the action. Inside the action I will do inspect, and we are very much good with this particular rule. You can see how easily we can create the firewall rule. Now we'll go and add the zone. What is the source zone? What is the destination zone? Source zone is VPN, say for example 40. So that I have guessed. If you want to create, you can click here, create new zone list, that also you can create. So this is for, say for example, VPN 40. I will add 40 here, but already we have one there. I can use that also. Let's use ours, VPN 40, and then where it is going to the corporate, that is the VPN 10. Save, and now you can see the arrow. I'm applying inter-VRF type of firewall policy. Save the firewall policy. You can go next, you skip the IPS. Here also I'll give the same name, and we are not using the DIA and the SYNFLOOD things. If you click preview, See, this much of CLI equivalence has been generated. So we have the source and we have the destination, and what we are doing, inspect the traffic. Save this policy, because after saving this policy you have to go inside the template and you need to edit the template, because you are going to add these rules inside the security option here that you have. So inspect the VRF, update it, because template lock edit mode, multiple edits. Okay, so same user has opened multiple sessions, so that's why it is in the lock mode. Let me try one more time if I can add this, update, and I can go next. Next, so this will update 2 of the branch 1 devices, that's okay. And then next I will go to the template and I will add this branch 3. So I'll go inside the branch 3 in the additional template and then I will add it. Once I add it, then I have to go and verify this. So this also is locked. What I can do, that I'll go again, I'll log out and I log in one more time. So he will allow me to edit that. So let me go back to that template, because if you do multiple operation at the time, then it will throw some error. So we'll go here to the additional template and we'll add this particular inspect VRF, update it. Still it is showing the same error, so we'll wait. Let me try one more time, because one of the process is going on. This template is in locked mode. So if these are the cases that you will face, you do one thing, you create the copy, say copy number 1, and then try to push from here. So now go, first of all, edit this template. Everything will be the same in this template. This is not attached to anything. I'll go and update this one, and then I will go to copy 1 and then I will attach the device. That is nothing but your 10501. Once I attach this, then I will go to the CLI and I will see that configuration change are there or not. Log in via the CLI and then you can check the zone. I can see 10 and 40, that is working perfectly fine. Then I'll go to this particular branch 3 and then I'll go and check the, say, policy map, type inspect, zone session, and this is working. Now next task is this, that I will go to the RDP session that I have, and from there I will initiate the traffic towards the destination, and then I will go to the session, and here you can see the session. Okay, so it is working perfectly fine. And if I go and check the zone pair, so here you can see the number of packets, the timing is increasing. I can see that one session is there, is session last created 25 seconds, 29 seconds, and in the session I can see this is going on. So this is the way that we can verify the firewall rule across different VRF. Next we have intrusion prevention and detection. With help of intrusion prevention, we have very powerful engine inside the Cisco IPS and IDS, and that is nothing but the SNOT. It is most widely used IPS IDS engine, and that is backed with the Talos team. Talos team is a Cisco engineering team. They are using some sort of machine learning and other mechanism to build and update the cloud signature or cloud system. So if any new threat will come, already those anti-signature or to protect from those signatures and threats will be updated in the Talos. So this is again backed by the Cisco team, and that's very powerful. That is integrated with the IPS IDS system for the cloud lookup. Then This IPS IDs, they are supporting the signature whitelist support as well. They can analyze the real-time traffic as well, and it is PCI compliance. Earlier we have discussed about that how this look like, because we are not putting everything on the box, but you can see that my control plane is hosted over LXC container. Inside that Linux container, we have IPS, AMP, URL filtering. So now we have the segregation of firewall and the IPS, IDS, and the AMP URL. That in the control plane over the different CPU, memory, RAM, I have the Linux container. Now what is happening that the communication, when the data packet will come and he wants to do the lookup, at that time we have something called appnav, GRE tunnel. So for the lookup, with help of that tunnel, it will go to the control plane, and then as per the instruction, we have the permission like block or drop or allow, etc. So it will take the action. That's why we have the virtual port group. That port group is nothing but to do the communication from the data plane or from the data path to the control path. Correct? So likewise, that all the IPS signature work here, this will work. This our IPS will work in the same way. You can see that packets which are marked for inspection will be diverted from data plane to the snort via the UTT divert FIA. Once the diversion will happen, obviously it will detect, and then it will take the action, and then the output and the logs will come into the picture. Based on the status reported by AppNav, means again we have the AppNav, and if you see the earlier video, you'll find that we have the service section as well, where it will collect the stats related to open, fail, and health monitoring states, etc. Okay. So if you see the configuration, while it's very easy, I'll go and walk you through the configuration. In the configuration, you'll find that you have policy name, signature set, that is balanced, and we have three options. I'll walk you all those options. We have detection, and we have say IDS and IPS, both we have in the mode. So either it will work as a engine who will take the action or only generate the log, that is the IDS. Then we'll see the other options as well. Once I log in, then I'll tell you all the options that we have inside the vManage. Once you create the policy via the GUI, and if you go and check in the CLI, you'll find you have different section. So first section, that the device, they will download this appliance. So whatever we have hosted over the say vManage, so we have the app hosting installed like this. So this is one of the command, it will be downloaded. Then they will create various virtual ports for the communication from the data path to the control path. Then we have the activate virtual service configuration, IOX based configuration, that is app hosting configuration, what is the virtual port group, what is the guest interface. Now all these things, actually we are not worried to know that okay, what does it mean, because it's here you can see it's very difficult to configure via the CLI. So we have better option that we can go and configure via the GUI. Then finally you have the step 4, that is related to service plane, that your UTD engine is standard multi-tenancy, where you are defining the signature and the action. Finally in the data plane we are going to apply it. So what action? If the session is fail, is still you will pass the packet or you will close the session. Okay. So these are the CLI equivalence things that we will see once we create the policy. Once we push the policy, then you will find that the CLI equivalence. So let's just stop here. We'll log into the vManage, we'll create the policy, and then we'll see the CLI equivalence. So let us see that how we can build the policy. You can go to the configuration and the security. So for example, I will take the compliance policy where I have the firewall and the IPS. Okay, so I will add one firewall policy as well. Say I have already one or two policies created. So for example, inspect VRF and do. So now I have the firewall policy. I'll go and add the intrusion policy, create the new policy. What's the name? So IPS for VPN 10. You can see that signature set is balanced. You have three options: connectivity and security. Connectivity will process 15,000 signature, balance will 10,000, and security will more to that. We have the inspection mode, detection, and the protection. That is the IPS and IDS. IDS will generate the log. IPS will actually stop that session. Then in the advanced session, you can see that you can, if you have your own signature, you can go and put here. The alert log label is error. That is fair enough, but you can go and check other labels as well. Then I want to put the VPN target. What's the VPN I want to inspect is, say for example, VPN 10. Then we can go and save this. We are almost done with the policy. Say firewall and IPS for VPN 10 and do. Then here in the bottom you can see that I can give the firewall direct internet access that we have already discussed, but I can use the external syslog server. So for IPS and URL filtering, if you want to select or if you want to collect the log to the external syslog server, you can go and give the VPN and the IP. And the failure mode has two options, either open or close. So if anything will happen with IPS, still the session is open, or if you want to drop, then you can choose the close session. Alright, click here preview, and now you can see that you have your IPS rule here. Then we have the zone based firewall configurations as well. We can save it, because anyways we have to go inside the configuration and the template. And so for example, I want to apply this to one of the branch, that is the branch type 3 or the branch number 3. So I will go click edit. Inside edit I have this additional template, and then you have the security policy option. You will go and use firewall IPS for VPN 10. Then you can see factory default UDD template, it is coming by default. Let me scroll a little bit down, if I can scroll a little bit further. Default UTD template setting, what it is. Default, so it is telling please upload the compatible app hosting image, and it is telling the path which is already there. That is again the container profile that we are uploading. Now it will push this configuration, and if I want to see the difference of the configuration, I can go here and click conf difference. I want side by side difference. Let me scroll down so we can see what changes we are doing. Alright, so let me scroll down. Oops. Let me go back and scroll down, so we'll check it. Although the fonts are a little bit smaller. So here you can see the inspect the VRF, that is okay. IP NAT for UTD NAT ACL, overload to the interface gigabit, IP NAT global class map, those are the old configuration policy map. You can see long list of configuration, correct? In the vEdge, in the traditional vEdge that we used to work, there we don't have this long list of configuration. Now here you can see that I have interface virtual port group, VRF forwarding 65529, the IP address is 1.1. Then I have a virtual port group 0 and 1, and these are the two new IP addresses that I have. So I have two port group 0 and 1, and with two IP addresses that I can see in the green. Then you can see full IOX configuration, correct? Full IOX configuration, and here you can match the IP addresses as well. You have the app VNIC, means the communication between the data path and the control plane. Then you can see you have UTD multi-tenancy and the policy is balanced, and whatever policy that we have configured, it is there. Then policy UTD, you can see that is applied over VPN or VRF10, and this is the full configuration. So before doing anything, what I want to do, let me go and log into the device. Here is my device, and if I show you the IP interface brief, that is our old Cisco command. Then what interfaces I have here, you can see I have gig interfaces and few tunnel interfaces like 2, 3, 4. Now after pushing this policy, let's see that how many new interfaces we have and what type of configurations we have. You will go and check. So once it will push the configuration, if I do show IP interface brief, you can see if the configuration is successful. So let's go back and check if the configuration is successful. So still it is scheduled, it will take some time. Device need app installation. Yeah, if you are doing first time configuration, it will take time. So maybe sometimes it will take 15 to 20 minutes. We need to wait till that time, but it is taking this time just for first time deployment. Next time onward, it will not take this time. So I'll do one thing, I'll pause the recording, and then once it is 100% successful, I'll come back and I'll show you the CLI equivalence that is had put to the device. Okay, so let's stop here. Let's pause here. So while it is taking too much time, let's stop this recording here, and in the next section we'll do the verification, that is the CLI verifications. In my case, it took exactly 7 to 10 minutes to install that. Now if you go here and in the bottom see that I have two virtual port group 0 and 1. If I go and show you the configuration, say UTT, here you can see that I have app hosting, and inside that app hosting you can see that I have the VNIC gateway, virtual port group, guest interfaces, and these IP addresses. Plus you can see the UTT configuration here. We have this much configuration with that particular VRF. Apart from that, I can go and check the app hosting as well. So if I go and check, this is the same configuration that related to app hosting that we are getting in the UTD. So we have these configuration. Apart from that, if you want to check the policy, you can go and check the policy. And here we have the policy. So let me scroll little bit up so you can see the policy. So we'll see the policy where, yeah, here is the policy balanced, policy UTT, VRF, VRF10, all interfaces. So whatever we have seen in the GUI, while pushing the configuration, it is coming here. Now if you want to verify from the CLI, you can go and check show UTD, say engine, and then standard. Then if you want to see some sort of logging, you can go and check the logging, and if you have some, say, logging and events and stats, so events, if any events is there, it will generate that event. Means if any traffic that is being inspected by the IPS engine, it will show you that. From the dashboard, how you can see that? So you can go here to the dashboard and the repository and the security. On top you can see that firewall is running on edge 1, branch 1, edge 1, 2, and branch 3. Like that, if you go here and you can check, the IPS is running on this system IP. This is the model reachable, this is running. So this is a place we can go and identify which are the services are running on which of the devices. Correct? Now if you want to go inside the monitor and the network and the branch number 2, so sorry, branch number 3, and here if you go to the IPS section, so here if you have any alert and any severity, these will come. So if I have any anomaly related to that balance signature, I can go and check here in this section. Okay, so this is the way that you can check. You can verify from the GUI and you can verify from the CLI configuration as well. Although it's very lengthy and tedious to configure via CLI, so preferred that we'll do this via the GUI, and in GUI also we can go and observe. Now for troubleshooting and verification, obviously we have to go to the CLI and we have to check the logs and the T-shoot options, because to come and pop to the vManage dashboard, it may take some time. Okay. Now we have case number 2, where we are going to study about the guest access. Here you can see the attack surface is like 50-50. What type of mechanism we can use inside our SD-WAN protocol suite? That we can use app-aware firewall, we have the segmentation, and we have DNS or URL filtering. So both the things in a mix match we can use. If you go and click to the guest access, although you will find option for firewall and URL filtering, but all the time you have option that you can go to custom, and then you can use DNA security as well, or DNS security as well. Okay. So here you can see that you have customer that is going towards the backhaul and then going to the internet, but you have guest access that is going directly to the internet, and that is increasing the attack surface. What type of attacks are possible? So there may be phishing attack, vulnerability endpoints, unpatched OS, DOS attack, guest users. Means directly I am exposed to the internet. So these type of threat vectors are there. Obviously, your attack surface is internet, guest network, guest segmentation. What security tools we have from SD-WAN? From SD-WAN, we can use app-aware firewall policies. We have DNS or web layer security. We can do the URL filtering. So suppose if we want to do the URL filtering, what capabilities we are getting from the URL filtering? You can see that we can do the whitelist model. We can block, allow certain content, categories, reputation. So whatever allowed there, it will be allowed. If they hit the block list or the blacklist, it will go and cancel. And obviously we have the customizable end user notification as well. We'll see that. This we are going to configure, and we'll see that what are the configurational options we have inside the vManage dashboard. Now, for example, when a user he send the request, so what is happening, you can see here that he can send the URL request. It will go to the snort. Inside the snort, so snort HTTP parser, that URL sent to the URL filter engine, it will send to the engine. So you are sending the request to the so from data plane, it will obviously you have the virtual port groups here. So you have port groups that you want to connect from the data plane to the control plane. Inside the control plane, from parser, it will go to the engine. Inside engine, you'll find that you have whitelist, you have blacklist, you have category, you have reputation. These options are there even when we'll go to the vManage, and when we configure the rule as a guest access rule, at that time you will find that inside URL filtering we have all these options. So suppose if this particular request is allowed, you will get the response from the engine. If it is allowed, obviously you can go and open the website or you can surf it. If it is blocked, either it will redirect you to certain site or it will send you block page message. So you can create your block page message or you can redirect to some other place. Okay, all this policy you have to go to the vManage dashboard, and from there you have to create the policy. How we can go and create the policy, we'll see in the upcoming section. And this is the CLI equivalence. Again, you can see that we have configuration related to virtual services. We have port group that will go and contact with the control plane. We have app hosting configuration, and then we have the URL configuration. Although you can see the configuration list is very big, because if you add more and more whitelist and blacklist and the categories that you can define from the GUI, although it is easy, and the CLI equivalence, you can see that this many CLI configurations are there. So let's just stop here, and next section we'll go and build the policy. In this scenario, we'll learn that how we can create the URL policy. So you can go to the add policy and you can see that guest access, where you can have the firewall policy and the URL policy. What I will do that we have already created one firewall policy. So I will go and call this policy. This is for URL, or say with URL, and then policy description is firewall plus URL. So I can give any name. Let's copy this. So now I have the firewall policy that I called. Let's go and learn how we can create this URL filtering policy. So obviously you should have the app hosting image that is over the Lexi container. Create new. I want to create new policy. Now you can see on your dashboard that on the top it is telling that okay, what is the block category, what is the web reputation, what is the whitelist URL, blacklist URL, what is the block page, what is the blacklist and all. So what we'll do, we'll go scroll down and one by one we'll create the policy. So this is a URL policy for access. So you can give any name. Now web category block, what you want to block. So for example, I just to showcase, I want to block say business and economy, and let's do not block this. So obviously you can see there are so many sites that we can simply go and click block, like the drug, alcohol, like that. And let me scroll down botnet. So it depends that what type of things and what is your corporate policy, what type of URLs you want to block. Let me scroll down. So I'm just looking if I have any, say, social networking. So I can go and verify, for example, facebook.com or LinkedIn. Those things I can go and verify because these I am putting inside the block category. So I have this social networking that is block, yes. So now you can see that I have added the category as block, and inside that block I have added these many block listed. So whatever things are allowed, say if I go and click here, you will see that I can specify the allow list as well, and in the allow list I can go and add certain things. So at the moment I took this block, these I want to block. The web reputation, you can see that's by default moderate risk. You can make them, say for example, suspicious, and on the top you can see the block category 5, reputation is suspicious. Then we'll go further, we'll go and click to the advanced, and in the advanced also we can choose certain options. So let me scroll, let me decrease the size. So in advanced it is asking what is the whitelist URL. I want whitelist URL Cisco, www.cisco.com. If you have more, you will go and add. So now you can give the specific URL entry that you want to whitelist. You can go and add the whitelist URL. You can import that file if you have. Alright, and then here you can see that you have the blacklist as well. So let me scroll a little bit down, a little bit up. Whitelist, blacklist, what you want. Say for example, I want CNN.com. I want to block that. It is in my blacklist, so I will go here and type say www.cnn.com. Save this. Now required can include only alphanumerical character hyphen maximum. So what I can do, first of all, give the name, say for example CNN. Just I'm giving you one example, and then you can go and import the file if we have. this file. So www.cnn.com, save this, but we have option to import as well. So now you can see that we have the whitelist, we have the blacklist, both I have chosen. Then I can scroll down and in the bottom you can say block page content. If it will block, it will give you this message: access to the requested page is prohibited. And I can give any other comment. Check with your network admin, or you can redirect to certain URL. Then in the alerts, what you want, I want alert for blacklist, whitelist, and reputation category. Click save. Now here you can see that obviously I need to go and target the VPN. So what I have done so far, that I have given the list of what are the things I want to blocking, and the web reputation is suspicious, whitelist and the blacklist I have given. Action is block the pages, and this is the block page content. Blacklist is enable, whitelist is enable, reputation category is enable inside the alert. So we have web filter, we have block page, and we have alert section. All these sections we have inside the URL. Now I should map this to the VPN. So I'm going to map this, say, for VPN 10 and 20 and 40. I want to apply all these VPNs. Save the URL policy, go next. Say URL plus firewall policy, and I should not use plus sign here, otherwise it will throw an error. URL and firewall policy, and again the same thing if you want to bypass the firewall if you have external syslog server. Otherwise go and preview. Now you can see here that we have long list that we can further discuss about. So firewall thing we know, we have already discussed about firewall. But in the URL thing that we have done the configuration, you can see URL filter name is URL policy for access, web category action block, web categories abuse, drugs, alcohol, cheating site, block threshold is suspicious, whitelist is Cisco, blacklist is CNN. Inside that we have the URL. For Cisco we have the URL, for CNN we have the URL. What is the block text? This is the text. What is the alert? I have chosen all the alert. Where is my target VPN? 10, 20, 50. So this is my URL policy. And now what I will do here, I will go to the template and I will attach this. So I will go to my branch 1 template and edit that template, and then I'll go to the additional template. In that I will go and add the policy that just now we have created. So let me scroll down. Okay, branch DIA, firewall, all these are the old policies that we have created. URL firewall policy, that's the policy we have, correct? Update this. It is uploading. Go next. If you want to see what is the policy that we are going to push, that will go and check. Unknown command at cisco.com. So I have chosen cisco.com, which is throwing an error. So what I will do, I will correct this Cisco URL that I have chosen, and then I'll come back to this particular place. So let me go back and correct that. Alright, so I have corrected the Cisco URL and I put www.cisco.com. Let us go here and add that policy that we have. So let me little bit scroll down and see that where we have our policy. So I can call here. I can't see my policy. Yeah, now it is showing me. Yep. All right, update. Template is in lock mode, multiple edits. So same user has done multiple edit for this template, so that's why it is in lock mode. Never mind. We will wait for the lock mode till expired. Or other thing that what you can do, you can go to the tools, operational command. Say if I go here to vmanage, reset locked user, because the admin user is doing all the changes. So you can reset that, and then you can go back to the template, and you can go here one more time, and again you can go to the additional templates. You can go here, you can go and give the name. It was a URL policy update. Alright, so I need to log out and log in. Let me do that, and then I will go attach and update. So I logged out and log in, and let's click update. Now it is updating, and go next. I can go and check the configuration difference, because if any error will be there, it will throw an error. So it is not telling that we have any error. I can click side by side difference. Let me scroll down. So the zone based firewall configuration, that already we know. We have VRF definition, the RD, and that. Then here you can see that now we have the access list called the URL. In that we have object group for URL, object group for firewall, object group for source and destination. Then we have the class map for URL. And later with the CLI, I'll show you this in detail, that what type of objects we have. I'll show you the object as well. Then we have policy map, and then if I scroll down, we should get the list of the URLs and the categories that we are blocking and enabling. We have the virtual port group, that is for the communication from the data and the control plane. These are the old object group, I think. This object group is for ICMP. Okay. Then we have a parameter type, Cisco new. Inside that we have the pattern cisco.com that I have edited, Cisco to Cisco new. Then we have the cnn.com, and then we have app hosting configuration here, you can see. And you have this configuration that actually we are pushing from our GUI to the CLI, and then it will push to all the VRF. Say for example VRF 10, 20 and 40. So here you can pause the recording, so from IOX, and you can go, and if you want to take snapshot, increase the size, font size, and you can check that what we are using. Although I will try to show you all these things from the CLI as well. So let's scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, and that's it. Click config devices. Yes, to devices. So meanwhile it is configuring the devices, I will go and log in via the CLI, and I'll show you from the CLI with some bigger font. So here I can go and show you the app host configuration. And still it is not pushed actually, that's why it is not showing. So we'll wait for 1 to 2 minutes while the configuration will get pushed, or better let's stop here. In next section I will log into the CLI and I'll show you from the CLI as well. Once we push the policy, then we can go to the configuration and the security. Here you can see that device attach is to Device template is 1, admin, and this is use case is guest access. Then I can go to the template, and yes, I have attached that. If you want to verify that, you can go this template and you can check that, yeah, that template is already attached inside the additional template. Here it is, URL firewall policy. Now next what I will do, I will go to the maintenance and security, and here we are using URL filter. Now you can see the branch 1, 2 devices, they are using the URL filtering, that is reachable, that is virtual image is running, means those images has been downloaded to these 2 devices. IPS is on 3, firewall on all 1 2 3. Now I'll go to the CLI and I'll show you the CLI configuration. So if I begin with URL, and here you can see that web URL, what is the blacklist, what is the block list, what is the block size, means what is the block name category, then block page, the global configuration, all interfaces. So how we are applying to VRF 10, 20 and 40 these URL filtering policies. Then finally you can go and check the app hosting configuration as well, that will be in the bottom, because now we have the Gre Channel or app nav interface virtual port group that is connecting, or that is doing the communication from the data plane and the control plane where you have the LXC containers. Next what we can do, we can go to show UTT and we'll see the policy. So these are the policy that is applied. Again I can go to UTD and I can see some other options as well. So here you can see that we have web filter, say URL, profile. So we have those options. If I know the profile name, I can go and check. But yeah, this is the web filter. We have CNN, block list, Cisco whitelist, and these are the block categories that we are applying. Then I can go to the engine from CLI if I want to know that the web filter engine is running or not, that we have already seen from the vmanage. So the status is running. So these are the CLI verification command that I can go and check from CLI it is working or not. Let us see the feature and capabilities of DNS security, that is Cisco umbrella. If you see the traditional network, everything is backhauled towards the data center or the head office, and then all the mobile user, other branches, they are using the internet. But now we have actually shift. We have shift in the network due to the evolution of SD-WAN and so many cloud hosted application nowadays we have, like infra as a service, software as a service, platform as a service. So the companies, they want to directly go exit and use either the cloud hosted application or the internet. Like in both the cases, if you use those strategy, you will find that you are increasing the attack surface, because now your WAN interface is directly exposed to the cloud. So for that reason, the security is one of the major thing. And one of the powerful security solution related to DNS nowadays that we have is this Cisco umbrella. So you are exposed for malware, ransomware attacks, compromise attacks. You have less visibility to the cloud hosted application. There may be data breaches and the compliances. So for all these problems that we have when we are exposed to the public cloud, then we have Cisco umbrella security. How Cisco umbrella operates behind the scene inside the cloud, we'll see. But actually it was not Cisco product. Cisco has acquired company called OpenDNS, and then Cisco has done so many enhancement and improvement inside that. Now if you see that traditionally the network, in network you have your firewall, your proxy, your IPS IDS, your AMP, your antivirus, all those things you have, but still you are exposed to the internet where you may have malware, C2, say phishing attack, etc. So to protect from these, we have first line of security as a DNS security. Now DNS security is huge in Cisco at the moment. We'll see that how many users, how many requests, and what is the strategy that DNS is providing. In terms of deployment, what you have to do, simply give one URL or give one IP address or two IP address, and then your DNS will work. So now it will redirect towards the Cisco umbrella, where it will check all the categories like malware, C2, phishing, custom. There are so many categories they have inside that. We'll see all those categories, the list of categories we have. So what type of solution that DNS is going to provide us. Here you can see in the list that the DNS umbrella will protect when the VPN is off. It has a visibility and enforcement, block requests to malicious domains and IP, predictive intelligence. Not only it has the normal database, but they have the predictive intelligence as well. And already I told you that Cisco Talos is working behind the scenes. So data scientists, engineers with so many new innovations, they are working behind the scene to provide full tight security. And you can see the regions now over the globe. These are the regions at the moment where the DNS is applied. So for a user, he will go and check the nearby DNS gateway or DNS proxy, and then his data will process. So you can say that the DNS, we have zero added latency, more than 500 ISPs are supporting. Since 2006, it has 100% of uptime, 80 billion daily requests it is getting. How it is working, now you'll see the flow. So it is using latest technology, latest type of algorithm to provide or to mitigate from the threats or to provide the security. It is using C-rank model, that is the co-occurrence model. So identify other domains, looked up into the rapid succession to a given domain. It has NLP, that is the natural language processing, and AS matching, detect the domain, and that is spoof the brands and other terms. It has so many advanced techniques like live DGA, secure rank. It is using the spike rank. So suddenly if in certain autonomous system, the traffic will increase. That means some sort of anomaly in the traffic. It has the predictive IP space monitoring, analyze how servers are hosted to detect future malicious domain. So you can see it's not like, okay, DNS security and it has some one or two feature. It has long list of features and it is keep updating its database. So that's why it's a number one fastest and most reliable domain at the moment. 3 million plus daily new domain names discovered, 60K plus daily malicious destination identified, 7 million plus total malicious destination enforced. How it is applied and what are the other features you have. In terms of SD-WAN, I will go and log into the vManage and I'll show you that how you can integrate with the DNS security. What are the steps to integrate with the DNS? At the moment you integrate, you will get the network coverage, means instant visibility and blanket security protection. Bring your own device against Wi-Fi. Off network coverage for laptop. More user device granularity. Trial, if you want, you can do the trial as well. They are giving 14 days trial version. If you want to check that cloud, you can go and check as well. But the deployment time is very less. It will be less than 30 minutes to deploy it. Now here you can see the operational expertise and ensure reliability. So here we have only two examples. One is one to the nearest. So you can go and check what is the nearest DNS gateway you have. So instead of going 3 hop, I can directly go and use 2 hops. Then the other nice feature, because it has the collaboration or it has the tier up or tiering with so many ISPs. So it will not go and go to these many hops. If we see that, okay, I can directly peer with the next hop or peer with the other ISP who's near to the source and destination, so it will peer. It will not go to the multiple hops to reach. It is widely available at the moment. You can see the number is growing and every day this number is growing. You can see the availability of the network. It's 100% available. In our case, we are going to use inside the Viptela with help of vManage. So I will show you what are the steps and what are the things, what options we have inside that. We'll go and check all those things, but we can apply with the endpoint footprints. We can apply with the DHCP DNS integration. We can use anywhere. All right, so let's stop here, and next section we'll learn more about and we'll see what are the deployment steps. In this section and the coming one, we'll see that how we can integrate our SD-WAN solution with the DNS solution. So suppose if you're sending the request on behalf of this request, the VH, they are sending their request in the encrypted form to the DNS. Again, they are returning that response. And then suppose if that request is legitimate, it will go to the internet, we can access, or it can redirect to the block site. That's the overall use that we have with the DNS. But you will see that DNS is not stopping up to this point. We'll find that there are so many other features inside the OpenDNS or Cisco umbrella. Cisco has acquired that company in 2015. Initially, it was termed or named as a OpenDNS, and now Cisco has rebranded as Cisco Umbrella. You can see here that what type of features you have. You have DNS layer security, you have web secure gateway SWG, you have cloud delivered firewall CD firewall, you have SaaS usage controls, that is CASB, cloud access secure security broker, you have correlated threat intel. So it's not like it's doing only the DNS security, but it has so many features inbuilt. So once you log into the umbrella console, in that you will find that you have options that you can create not only the policy related to the URL, but you can create policies related to firewall and other stuffs. All right, so it can work as a full web proxy as well. And here you can see all these features that you can see here. So it can work as a proxy, means that capture all the web traffic with full URL, login and blocking capabilities, enforce acceptable use policy with content filtering and URL blocking. So whatever proxy that, say for example, blue code proxy, other proxy like that, it can work on behalf of the request as well. Then it has this feature called cloud delivered firewall, and you can see this CDFW. So it has a gateway, secure web gateway. It has the cloud delivered firewall. It can do the inspection for L3 to L4 as well, and again it can send that request to the gateway. So the request that is coming from the branch side going to the firewall for the port or L3 L4 inspection, then it is going to the gateway, then it is going to the SaaS, or if you want you can directly send the traffic to the internet or the SaaS. So both options we have. So finally you can see that this integrated solution that we have with the Cisco umbrella, we can integrate with our SD-WAN with help of vManage. We are going to create the policy. Once we create the policy, then obviously my branches, they are secure in terms of they are providing the DNS security, the firewall policies, the CASB, the gateways and others. Okay, so how in the first place you are going to enable this? First of all, you have to log into the umbrella site. From there, go to the admin and get the key from the umbrella, that is the API key. Once you have the API key, then go and open the vManage dashboard. There you have to do the registration with the umbrella. Once you do the registration, here you can see the configuration and the umbrella registration. Then you can go and create the policy. So you have option to do the local domain bypass. Then what is the policy behavior? What type of VPNs are attached? The DNS server, means there are some features I will show you that is by default there, and it's recommended that you use that feature by default. or use those default features. So you have three sections only: local bypass, action, umbrella, registration. What is your target VPN where you want to put this? In the bottom you can see that you have DNS server IP umbrella default. Then we'll go and do the registration here, just to showcase that you need the registration token from your umbrella. You have to put here and then it will show you the configured. This is the umbrella dashboard. You have to go to the Cisco umbrella, go to admin, go here to the API key, and then you will get that key that you come back here and you have to put. So the umbrella and the SD-WAN, they will work together because of this API, and the behind the scene they will integrate. That's only thing that we need to do for the integration. Once you do the integration, then you go create the VPN list. If you have any DNS server IP, you can go and give that also. By default, you can use as a default umbrella IP. Once you create the policy, you can go and you can check show umbrella config from the CLI, show umbrella device ID, umbrella DNS script. Alright, and then further, if you want to see the configuration, you can go and check. So let's stop here, and in the next section we'll log into the vManage, we'll create the policy, and then we'll verify. We'll do the basic stuffs for verifications. Let us go and configure the policy. So you can go to the configuration and security. We are already at security. Go and add the security policy. This case, I can't use a compliance or guest access. I can use DCA or DIA, but let's go to custom. I will use one firewall policy and the umbrella policy. So you want to use firewall policy? Yes, I have the existing one. I'll go and copy this one. This is copy 8, for example, and then copy. Then I will skip all the steps. I will reach up to the DNS security. That is the last one. We are here inside the DNS security. Yes, I want to create new policy. Here you can see that you have target, you have domain list that you want to bypass, the policy behavior, what's the action, the umbrella registration. So first of all, I'll go and give the name of the policy. So for example, umbrella with firewall. Then I will scroll down. You can see that you need to do the registration. So here you have to put the API key that you are getting from your umbrella site. So that I have already put. Then I'll scroll down, match all the VPN. I'll do custom. Then it is telling, oh, go here and give your target VPN. So okay, got it. I'll go here and add VPN, for example 10 and 20. The DNS server IP by default, umbrella default. If you have any custom DNS, you can go and give that. Local domain bypass, yes, I will use one local domain that I have. I want to bypass it. So I'll go there and click. I have one domain that I want to bypass. And now you can see the policy. Let me minimize the font so you can see everything in single page. See how easy to configure it. Then save DNS security policy. We can go next, and in the final page we can go and preview. So this was nothing but umbrella with firewall policy that we have, and then the firewall action bypass and disable all those old options that we have. Let's click here preview, and if I scroll down you can see that we have the umbrella configuration, whatever that we have used for our configuration. Next, what I'll do, I'll go to the configuration and template, and I want to change the template for the branch type 3. So let's go and edit this. Here I want to put the policy that we have created. So we'll go inside the policy in the bottom, and let's go and give that. So what is your policy? This is umbrella with firewall update. Alright, let's click next. Configure the device. Now it may be failed because I have given wrong API. In my case, I don't have any active DNS. So we can wait here. Now the steps that we have seen, that's the same exact steps that we need to follow to integrate my SD-WAN with the DNS or the Cisco umbrella. And then behind the scene, we know that what are the features we have inside the Cisco umbrella. So all those features will go and work. Once everything is okay, then we can go and check some of the CLI commands that we have. So let me log into the CLI. So if it is up and running, you can go and connect to the device. You can go and check show umbrella, and then you have three option config. So here you can see that you can see this is the resolver IP. These are the correct IP. So my API was correct, so that's why it is resolved. Then the device ID. So you can see the VPN 10 status request queue, and 401 is unauthenticated because inside the umbrella also you have to put these devices, and then DNS script. Here you can see. So now the DNS script is enabled, the public key, the certificate status, last successful attempt at this time. You have the script details, you have all the details. All right. If I go and check the configuration, so we can scroll down, you can see so much configured here already. We'll go down and we'll see our umbrella configuration. Let me increase the font size so you can see this, and yeah, 16 will be better. Alright, let me fix the screen. So what you can do here, either you can go and check parameter. Here you can see that we have done this configuration of umbrella with token, the local domain, DNS script, and this is the configuration that we have done. Or the other option you have that you can go and check running show SD-WAN running configuration and then the parameter. So here also you will get that configuration that we have done. Alright, so this is the way that we can configure our SD-WAN, means we can integrate our SD-WAN with the DNS security or the Cisco umbrella. Next we have use case 3, direct cloud access. Again, you can see that in this case users can go to the data center and it can access the cloud resources, or user can directly go to the SaaS or go to the cloud and access the resources. Now, for example, for security reason, if I have given this user the route from the data center, and what is happening, suppose if that link is down, so still it can go directly as well. So both possibilities are there. Means if I preferred that user that it always go via the DC, and then suppose if any problem with that particular link, it can directly go to the cloud or access the cloud resources as well. What are the things we have? Again, you can see the increase in the attack surface, because now we have 70% of attack that can be happen, means we are increasing the attack surface. But what are the options we have in terms of security? So we can do app aware routing, we can do app aware firewall. This app aware routing means that I can prefer via DC or I can go directly. I have option app aware firewall that we have already discussed earlier, how to create the rules in the firewall. We have option related to IPS IDS that we can do. And finally, we have option of advanced malware prevention or protection. So in this section, primarily, I'm going to focus on AMP. We know that now the things has been changed. Directly the users want to access the cloud resources. So they can go directly. If we go directly to the cloud, in that case, we can improve the user experience. Overall, we can decrease the capital expenditure as well. We are, securing the bandwidth, or we are not overutilizing the bandwidth, means going towards the backhaul or DC, and then we are going towards the cloud, rather than we are directly going to the cloud to save some of the bandwidth. So better use of the bandwidth, improve application performance, improve user experience, and then consistency, security policy and monitoring due to new SD-WAN security features that we have in the CSR and the ISRs. Here you can see that I can use app aware routing. So I have use case, I can directly go to the cloud, or I can go via the data center. Both the options we have. What type of security we are going to use? Security features we are going to use, we have IPS, we have DNS, web security, we can use advanced malware protection. Obviously we have app aware firewall policy as well. So in this section, let's discuss about the advanced malware protection with threat grid. Now here also you will see that the Cisco Talos theme is here. The team is there to provide you latest signatures. What are the things we can do with help of advanced malware protection? It integrated with AMP, the file reputation, the file retrospection. So not only when the file is coming, it is going towards the AMP cloud with certain hash value, but it will check over the period of time. Say for example 3 days. After every 3 days you will see still the file is good or not. Obviously initially file reputation is there, but after that the retrospection will happen. Now we'll see that what are the methods and why it will go to the threat grid as well. So what is happening? Let's see the sequence of the actions. Snort file pre-processed on the device, identify the download, compute the hash, look up in the local cache. So first of all, the user request, it will check in the local cache with the hash value. So for example 01011. If no response is found, send it to the AMP cloud. If those hash value calculation of hash is not there in the local cache, then it will send to the AMP cloud. Now AMP cloud has three response. Either it's a malicious, block it, either it is unknown or clean. If it is clean, allow it. So for example, if it calculate the value and it find that, oh, I don't have the database, so it will mark this as a unknown. If it is a unknown, then say the unknown content will send to the TG, that is the threat grid. So if the content active content is found and config allows to export, it is going toward this threat grid sandboxing. It will go here. Now from the say threat grid, when he get the response, he will reply, and then again the file will mark as a clean and it will go. So here you can see the threat grid use as well, TG use as well. So WAN edge queries threat grid for a period of time and then queries AMP for retro inspection. Threat grid also update the new status in the AMP cloud. So behind the scene you can see your AMP cloud, your threat grid, both are working side by side. So first you are checking in the local cache, there you are checking in the AMP, then inside the AMP if the status is unknown, it will move or redirect it toward the threat grid. Threat grid all the time it will update the database, and the AMP and the threat grid will work together and they are doing the retro inspection. Okay, so these are the steps we have inside the AMP plus threat grid. In the next section we'll log into the vManage and we'll do the configuration. We'll see that what's the GUI option, and then if we deploy this policy, you'll see that how it look like inside the CLI as well. So for example, what file types you want to check: PDF, Excel, Office, RTF, DB, CAB, etc. All those options we have. So we'll see in the next section that what options we have for the reputation and for the retrospection and how we can go and apply this policy. Okay, so let's stop here, and in the next section we will log into the manage and create the policy. Let us go and create the policy. So let's go to the configuration and security. Inside security policy, I'll go and add the policy. So this case, we go and check this direct cloud access. Inside that, I'll go and copy the firewall policy. So I have existing policy. Let me go and call that policy. This is copy number, say 55. Then we'll go next. So I don't want any IPS policy. I don't want DNS, but I want this AMP. So we'll go inside the AMP, create new AMP policy. Now here you can see in your page that target VPN, which target VPN you want to match this policy. So you'll go and click custom. Got it. Go and add the target VPN. So for example, VPN number 10. Then you have to select the AMP cloud. Then if you are going to do the file analysis, you have to select the TG cloud region and the file type. Then what is the alert label? It's a critical or it's a other. We'll see that we have 3 options inside the alert. So what options you have? You have critical warning info. Leave it as default. Let's go and give the name of this policy. So for example, this is AMP with firewall policy, and yep. So now you can see the file reputation, whatever the nearest matching cloud you have, you can go and use that. Then we have option, we can enable the file analysis. For that I should go and give the keys as well. So let me go to the NAM. I should give this key, and then what file type. So for example, only PDF. Then the alert log label is critical. So now we can see that how easy is to go and configure the AMP policy. We'll go next, and I don't want the DNS policy, so we'll go next. This is say AMP with firewall policy, and let me click here preview because I don't want to put this TG thread grid, so I'll go and edit that. Now you can see the policy. It's the name of the policy, the file reputation, where you are checking this, in which particular cloud you are checking the file reputation. You have file reputation alert, then file analysis, which cloud you are checking the file analysis, what is the type of the file, and what are the alert, which is your target VPN, VPN 10. So I can go and save this policy, but in this case I just wanted go back. I just want to go back in the policy AMP. I want to edit because I don't want to do the file analysis. So I'll scroll down. I'll go here and disable this particular option. I'll go next, go next, next, next. So once you save this policy, you have to go inside the template and you need to attach inside the template. So for example, I will go here to say for example branch number 3 and attach the new security policy. So for that you have to go inside the edit template, go to the additional template, go click here to the AMP with firewall policy just now I created, update this. If you want, you can go and preview the configuration, but the same thing will come here. So I'll go click and push this. So this is the way that we can go and create the policy and apply to the devices. Now we are in the use case number 4, where you can go to your data center and you can access the internet, or you can directly go to the internet, or the user can go and access the cloud. So you can see that you have all those options, and this use case number 4 where everything is fully exposed. So now my attack surface is 100%. So we should use AppAware Firewall, IPS, DNS, URL filtering, and AMP. So we are going to go and we can use a DIA, or we can go and use this custom option. both the options are open for us. So let me log into the vManage and let me show you that we'll go to DIA and we'll use that. Alright, here I am inside the vManage, and before going there, in the last section we have done the configuration for one of the branch related to AMP. So let me go and show you that running configuration. You can go to configuration and devices, and then you can come here. You can generate the, or you can look into the running configuration. So let me scroll down there. You can see the UTD configurations. So here it is. You can see that we have the UTD configuration, file reputation profile, file inspection profile. Okay, so here we have all those policies that we have created related to our AMP that is showing here. Now let me go and go to the configuration and security. Let's create new policy this time. So this time I will go and create DIA, and interestingly we have all these policy created. So I'll go and copy the existing policy that we have created, say for example related to firewall. I'll give this copy as a 66, then copy this. Let's go next. I'll go to the IPS IDS. I will copy from the existing that we have. So I'll go and copy IPS for VPN 10. This is copy number 66. Then I will go next where I have created the URL filtering. I'll copy from the existing. What is the copy we have? So we have a URL policy. I'll copy this. So likewise, I'll go next, and then we have the advanced malware protection just now we have created. So I'll go here and I'll copy that also. Now you can understand here that while you are copying all these, then you may note that that's why it's good to allow all those VPNs, means most of the VPNs should use this, or we should be very much specific about which particular VPN I want the cloud access or I want the direct internet access. So once I have all these policies, say policy, firewall, intrusion, URL, advanced malware, and DNS, then this is a DIA policy, direct internet access. Now you can see that I have firewall related option. I have IPS or URL filter or advanced malware protection. So all the logs, at the moment you'll add all the policy, it will come here and tell you, okay, you want to see this syslog message related to IPS, related to URL, related to AMP. At the moment, no. And suppose if you want to preview this policy, now you can see your policy. Now you can see the power of GUI. This many CLI commands, actually it's very lengthy and maybe we can do some mistakes, but now it's easy. From the GUI you can go and create that policy. Let's go to the template and the same site, that is nothing but my branch type 3 template where I'll go and edit the template, and inside the additional template let's go and push that policy related to DIA. So we have DIA policy, update this. We'll go next. If you want to see the config difference, now you will see that lot many differences inside the configuration related to old and the new, because this time we are using so many configurational changes. So if I scroll down, you can see the differences here. Let me scroll down. You have firewall rules, you should see the IPS rules, you should see the URL filtering, you can see the URL, and you can see the DNS, you can see the AMP. So all these rules we have that we are going to push to the devices. So let me go and push this configuration to the devices. Let me scroll down a little bit. We have AMP policy. Alright, so click configure devices and We can wait till it push the configuration. So once it will push the configuration, and then we'll go to the configuration and devices. There you can go and select that particular device where you have pushed the configuration. That is nothing but branch 3. You can go and check the running configuration, and in the running configuration we can see all those configuration that has been pushed from the DIA policy. So this way we can go and verify our configuration as well. Alright, so let's stop here.
Hi there. Thanks for your enrollment. We are in 1 minute ad break. In this break, I'm going to show you that I have so many courses uploaded over Udemy. And if you're going to enroll my courses, you will get 95% discount. Every month, 3 times. First week, mid of the month, and the last week of the month. I am sharing the coupons. If you go and use those coupons, then my courses related to CCNP, related to CCI, all those courses, you are going to get heavy discount up to 95%. You can see the prices are a little bit higher here, but if you go and apply the coupon, the prices will go rock bottom. So go use those coupons. Suppose if you don't have those coupons, then you can always ping me over YouTube. You can send me email. You can ask for those coupons. I will provide you that coupon. So get the coupon, get the discount. Some of my courses over Udemy, they are bestseller. Some of the courses are quite new, like SD-WAN automation, DNA automation, CCI data center 3.0. Those are the new uploads as well. So please go continue your learning, take the coupon, enroll my courses, and study well. All the best.